In today's audiobook, I want to talk to you about one of the most powerful statements you can ever say to yourself: I am that I am. These words hold more than just a surface-level meaning. They carry the essence of who you truly are, beyond the conditioning, beyond the past, beyond the labels the world has placed on you. You see, most of us live our lives reacting to circumstances, allowing our past experiences and external influences to define us. But what if I told you that by simply changing how you see yourself, you can unlock a new level of personal transformation? What if you could break free from the limitations of your mind and step into the highest version of who you were meant to be? In this video, we're going to explore the immense power of I am that I am, how these words can shift your reality, heal your body, and help you create a life that aligns with your true potential. We'll dive into the science behind this statement and its ability to rewire your brain, aligning your thoughts, emotions, and energy with the highest frequencies. If you're ready to step into your own greatness, to take control of your life, and to connect with the limitless potential within you, then stay with me. This journey is about more than just understanding. It's about transforming the way you think, feel, and experience the world. So let's dive in and unlock the power of I am that I am. Chapter 1. Awaken your consciousness by focusing on your breath deeply. When you sit down and focus on your breath, you are not just doing something simple, you are entering a space where transformation becomes possible. Breathing with awareness brings you into the present moment. It gives you access to a deeper intelligence that lives in the body and connects you to something greater than thought, greater than memory, and even greater than your own name. Most people breathe without thinking, without feeling, without presence. But when you take control of your breath, you are telling your body and your brain that you are now in command. You are no longer on autopilot. You are choosing to be awake. Awakening your consciousness begins with this one decision: to slow down and observe the very thing that keeps you alive. Your breath is always with you. You don't have to buy it. You don't have to learn a complex system to access it. It's already built into your biology. But you have to be willing to turn your attention inward. When you do this consistently, you begin to interrupt the old patterns that keep your body locked in stress. You shift out of survival and into creation. You can't change anything in your life while your body is stuck in fight or flight. If your brain is always anticipating the next problem, your nervous system is on high alert. This affects your thoughts, your decisions, and even your sense of self. The breath, when used with intention, gives you the key to unlock the body's natural ability to regulate itself. You begin to notice that your heart rate slows down, your muscles loosen, your brain waves move from high beta chaotic thinking to alpha and even theta, which are associated with relaxation, intuition, and healing. As you continue to breathe deeply and consciously, something even more powerful happens. You begin to separate from the old version of yourself. You stop identifying with the constant chatter in your mind. You no longer believe every thought that arises. You no longer react from habit. Instead, you become the observer, and in the moment you observe, you rise above. You move from reaction to creation, from unconscious patterns to conscious decisions. This is not just philosophy, it's grounded in neuroscience. When you bring your attention to the present moment through breath, you engage the prefrontal cortex. That's the part of your brain responsible for higher order thinking. It's also the part that gives you the ability to override old habits, make new choices, and align with a greater vision of yourself. Most people live their lives from the past. They wake up and immediately recall who they are based on who they were yesterday. The breath can disrupt that pattern. It creates space between who you were and who you're becoming. In that space you can choose again. You can choose to stop reacting to the same situations in the same way. You can choose to respond with calm. You can choose to stop feeding the emotional addictions of stress, frustration, and anger. You can choose to begin again every time you breathe consciously. This is why in my work I emphasize the importance of meditation, not as a ritual or performance, but as a tool to train the body to obey the mind. When you sit and breathe deeply with full awareness, you are teaching your body that it is safe to relax. You are shifting your chemistry. You are releasing energy trapped in past emotions. You are allowing your body to feel something new: peace, gratitude, clarity. Over time, this becomes your new baseline. The more often you access this state, the easier it becomes to return to it, and eventually it becomes your natural state. That's the sign of true transformation. Not when you're calm for 10 minutes, but when that calm becomes part of your identity. When you carry that centeredness into your daily life, your relationships, and your decisions, you become less reactive. You speak with more clarity. You make choices that align with your future, not your past. This is how you begin to awaken your consciousness, not through ideas, but through direct experience. When your inner world becomes more real to you than the outer world, you are free. Free from the opinions of others, free from the need to control, free from the emotions that once defined you. Your body starts to trust you again. Your heart begins to open. Your brain starts to work in harmony with your body. This coherence between the heart, the brain, and the breath creates a magnetic field around you that influences your environment. People feel it. Opportunities begin to align. Your life begins to reflect the inner work you're doing. The most powerful part is, you did it by focusing on your breath. You didn't have to fix the external world. You didn't need to change every detail of your circumstances. You changed your inner state, and as a result, your outer world started to shift. This is not magic. It's biology. It's physics. It's the law of cause and effect. You became the cause. Now imagine doing this every day, not just once when you're feeling stressed, but as a practice, as a way of life. Every morning you wake up and you choose to breathe with intention. You close your eyes and feel your breath move in and out. You stay with it until your body surrenders, until the thoughts slow down, until you feel peace without needing anything outside of you to change. That peace becomes your new foundation. From that foundation, you begin to make different choices. You start to think differently. You act differently. You speak differently. And those new choices begin to reflect a new personality. That personality creates a new reality. That's how you awaken. Not all at once, but moment by moment, breath by breath. Most people are waiting for something in the outside world to change so they can feel better. But the truth is, when you learn how to feel better from within, the outside world begins to match your inner state. That's how healing happens. That's how transformation happens. That's how you step into the truth of who you really are. You are not your past. You are not your thoughts. You are not your emotions. You are awareness. You are the presence behind all experience. You are the one who chooses. And when you choose to breathe with full awareness, you return to that place of power. You come home to yourself. There is nothing mystical or mysterious about it. It's a decision you can make right now. You can pause and take one deep breath. Feel it fill your lungs. Hold it gently. Then release it slowly. And notice what happens. Notice how your body responds. Notice how your thoughts become quieter. That one breath can be the doorway to a new life. But you have to walk through it with your awareness fully present. If you continue this practice, your nervous system begins to heal. Your brain starts to build new connections. You move out of stress and into flow. You stop trying to survive, and you begin to create. That's what awakening feels like. Not some massive revelation, but a consistent experience of presence, awareness, and peace. You are not chasing anything. You are not fixing anything. You are remembering who you already are. And that's the truth behind the words, I am that I am. It's not a phrase, it's not a belief, it's a state of being. It means you are whole, you are enough, you are already connected to the intelligence that made you. That intelligence is always available. It's in your breath, it's in your heart, it's in your awareness. So begin with breath, begin with awareness, and keep coming back. Every time you do, you awaken a little more, you rise a little higher, you align more deeply with the truth. You are not becoming someone new, you are remembering who you truly are. That is the power of breath. That is the path of awakening. Takeaway: breathe deeply with full awareness each day. Make it a practice. Start your day with 10 conscious breaths. Observe how your mind shifts. Observe how your body responds. With consistency, you will awaken to the truth of who you are, not in theory, but in direct, living experience. That is how you step into I am that I am. Chapter 2. Rewire your brain by visualizing your highest self daily. When you wake up each day and consciously choose to visualize your highest self, you are making a decision that rewires your brain at the most fundamental level. You are not imagining a fantasy. You are participating in a neurological rehearsal that transforms the architecture of your mind. The human brain does not differentiate between real experience and vividly imagined experience. So when you create a mental image of the person you want to become, and when you repeat that image with consistency and clarity, you are giving your brain the blueprint to follow. You are conditioning your nervous system to expect a new outcome. And over time, the brain aligns with that expectation. The way you think determines the kind of signals your brain sends throughout your body. Every thought you repeatedly focus on becomes a biological instruction. It tells your cells how to behave. It tells your hormones how to respond. It tells your muscles how to feel. This is not just psychology, it's biochemistry. And when you begin to visualize your highest self every day, you are guiding this entire system into a new direction. You are pulling your future into the present. You are teaching your body how to experience that future as if it's already happening. This is how change begins, not through wishful thinking, but through mental and emotional rehearsal. To rewire your brain, you must engage all your senses. When you visualize your highest self, do not merely see the image. Feel it. Hear the way you speak in that version of yourself. Notice the posture you hold. Recognize the decisions you make. Become aware of the energy you radiate. When the image becomes sensory-rich, the brain becomes more involved. It begins to form new neural networks, which over time grow stronger through repetition. These networks become the foundation of your new personality, and your personality creates your personal reality. If you continue to think, feel, and act as you did yesterday, you will continue to recreate the same experiences. But if you commit to living mentally and emotionally from a future version of yourself, the chemistry in your body begins to shift. The brain starts firing in ways that are consistent with the person you're envisioning. The more consistently you do this, the less attached you become to the old version of you. You no longer live in reaction to the past. You begin to anticipate the future. You begin to feel like that future version now. That emotional experience is what instructs the body to align with the mind. It's important to understand that your brain is a record of everything you've experienced. Most people wake up each day and access those memories automatically. Their past becomes their present. Their thoughts are filled with everything that went wrong, everything they wish they could change, and everything they fear might happen again. They relive their limitations by remembering them. But when you visualize your highest self, you interrupt that loop. You insert a new pattern. You tell your brain that you are more than what happened to you. You are what you decide to become. And when that decision is repeated with clarity and emotional intensity, your biology follows. Consistency is the key. One visualization will not rewire your brain, but when you practice this every morning before the world distracts you, when your brain is in the alpha and theta state, you are in the most receptive condition for change. This is when the subconscious mind is most open to suggestion. It is when the inner critic is quietest. This is the time to plant new thoughts, new feelings, and new beliefs. Your brain becomes a garden, and the seeds you plant with intention and emotion will begin to grow. But you must tend to it daily. You must water it with repetition. You must remove the weeds of doubt and negativity. You must stay connected to your vision, even when your outer world hasn't changed yet. The more familiar you become with your future self, the less energy you invest in defending your past identity. You stop identifying with the limitations that used to define you. You start building emotional relationships with outcomes that have not happened yet. You trust in their arrival, and because your brain is a predictive organ, it begins to search for evidence that your vision is becoming real. It changes your perception. You start noticing opportunities you used to miss. You start behaving in ways that are congruent with your future. This is not magical thinking. It is neurological alignment. You cannot create a new future from the same state of being. You must elevate your thoughts. You must elevate your emotions. You must teach your body how it feels to be confident, focused, inspired, and purposeful, before the outer world gives you a reason to feel that way. That is what it means to live ahead of your environment. That is how you become the cause, not the effect. You begin to act like the version of you who already has what they desire, and your brain begins to match that vibration. The problem most people face is that they allow their external environment to dictate their internal state. They wait for results before they believe. But the science tells us that the brain can be trained to believe first. And when belief is followed by emotional intensity, the body memorizes it. The nervous system adapts, and behavior begins to match the belief. If you do this long enough, that belief becomes automatic. It becomes who you are. This is where identity changes. You are no longer trying to become someone new. You are being someone new. That is a powerful distinction. When you live from this state, your actions, your words, your choices, they all start reflecting your vision. And as that internal alignment strengthens, the external world begins to shift. People respond differently. Opportunities arise. Your path becomes clearer. Not because the world changed first, but because you did. To visualize your highest self effectively, begin by regulating your breath. Slow it down. Center yourself. When your body is calm, the analytical mind softens. Then begin to picture your future self, not vaguely, but in precise detail. What do you look like? How do you spend your day? What habits have you developed? What goals have you achieved? What kind of people are around you? What do you stand for? How do you respond to pressure? The more detailed your vision, the more engaged your brain becomes. And when you attach a strong emotional state, like gratitude, love, inspiration, or joy, you lock that image into your nervous system. Gratitude is especially powerful because it is the signal to the body that the event you are imagining has already happened. It tells your biology to stop waiting. It tells your immune system, your endocrine system, and your nervous system that the future is now. That emotional alignment is what collapses the gap between where you are and where you want to be. And when that alignment is practiced daily, your identity transforms. It's important to stay with the visualization long enough to feel it in your body. Don't rush it. Stay present. Let the emotional state take over. Let your mind and heart connect. When that connection is strong, the brain enters coherence, the heart becomes synchronized with the mind. And in that coherent state, your energy field changes. You become more magnetic. You begin to influence the world around you, instead of being influenced by it. You are broadcasting a new signal, and life responds to that signal. You may not see the effects immediately, but if you stay consistent, the compound effect will take over. Your new thoughts will become new behaviors. Your new behaviors will create new experiences. Your new experiences will reinforce the new emotions, and those new emotions will keep the cycle going. This is how you become someone new, not in theory, but in reality. You stop trying. You start being. The reason most people fail to change is because they live by the same thoughts and feelings every day. They rehearse the past instead of rehearsing the future. But when you wake up each morning and choose to visualize your highest self, you are rehearsing who you are becoming. You are taking control of your brain's most powerful function, its ability to adapt to a new reality through imagination, emotion, and repetition. You are the architect of your mind. You are the sculptor of your identity. And every time you visualize your highest self, you are reshaping your brain to support that vision. This is not motivation, it is transformation. It is real, it is measurable, and it is entirely in your control. The key is consistency. You don't need to visualize 4 hours. 10 to 15 minutes of focused, emotionally engaged mental rehearsal is enough. If you do it every day, make it a ritual, make it non-negotiable. Do it before checking your phone, before looking at the outside world. Make your internal world the priority, because the external world will eventually reflect what you practice within. You don't need permission to start. You don't need perfect conditions. You don't need proof. You need commitment. You need presence. You need repetition. And with those tools you can rewire your brain, not just to think differently, but to live differently. You become the person you were always meant to be, not by accident, but by design. Takeaway. Begin each morning by visualizing the highest version of yourself with clarity, emotion, and presence. Make this a daily practice. Let your mind rehearse the future so your body learns to live it now. In time, your brain will adapt to your vision, and your life will follow. Chapter 3. Claim your power by observing your thoughts without judgment. The moment you decide to step back and watch your thoughts instead of reacting to them, you begin to access a deeper kind of strength. That strength isn't loud. It doesn't shout or push. It sits quietly in awareness. It's the kind of power that can't be taken from you because it was never outside of you to begin with. You don't need to fight your thoughts, fix them, or judge them. You just need to see them. The more you see them clearly, the less control they have over you. You can't claim your power if you're constantly lost in the noise of your mind. But the instant you become the observer rather than the thinker, the game changes. Your thoughts are not facts. They're not always true, and they don't define you. They're habits, patterns your mind learned from years of repetition, from past experiences, from your environment, and most of them are not even yours. They were inherited, absorbed, or repeated until they felt familiar, but familiarity isn't truth. The problem is, if you don't observe these thoughts with awareness, you mistake them for identity. You start believing that every anxious idea, every negative belief, every fearful projection is who you are, but that's never been true. You are the one who notices, the one who sees, and in that noticing, you reclaim the ability to choose. Choice is power. When you stop judging your thoughts, You create the space to understand them. Most people try to suppress, escape, or argue with their thoughts. But resistance doesn't free you. It binds you more tightly to the very thing you're trying to avoid. Silence doesn't mean peace if the silence is filled with buried tension, but observation brings freedom. When you can look at a thought and say, "I see you," without needing to attach to it, you shift from being controlled to being in control, not by force, but by clarity. That clarity is cultivated through presence. It doesn't come from analyzing everything, it comes from being with what is. To sit in the moment and just watch what the mind is doing without labeling it good or bad, without asking if it should or shouldn't be there. To simply notice that a thought has appeared and to let it pass like a cloud in the sky. This practice sounds simple, but it's powerful beyond words. Because once you realize that your thoughts don't define you, the walls you've been living behind begin to fall. You stop living in the prison of automatic thinking. You stop reacting to every emotion. You stop chasing false validation or running from discomfort. You become grounded, rooted in a deeper awareness that doesn't depend on external circumstances. This awareness is your true self. It has no story, no need to perform, no desire to defend. It just is. And the more time you spend observing your thoughts without judgment, the more you connect with this unshakable core within you. Real power is the ability to stay centered when the mind is chaotic. To remain steady while emotions rise and fall. You don't gain that power by wishing your thoughts were different. You gain it by watching, patiently and honestly, until the noise loses its grip. The mind wants to pull you in, to distract you, to make everything urgent, but you don't have to go with it. You can sit still, breathe, and watch the storm pass. That is strength, that is mastery, and that is how you begin to build an inner foundation that no circumstance can destroy. You might notice thoughts that say you're not enough, that you've failed, that you'll never get it right. You might hear voices in your mind echoing old fears and insecurities. But instead of reacting, observe, just see it. You don't have to silence those thoughts. You don't need to argue with them. They've only been repeating themselves because they've never been clearly seen. When you look at them with presence, not resistance, they begin to dissolve. They have nothing to feed on. The judgment you used to place on yourself kept them alive. But observation without judgment is like light in a dark room. It reveals what's there, but it doesn't attack it. It understands. Understanding your thoughts doesn't mean agreeing with them. It means you stop fearing them. You create a distance between you and the noise. That distance is where your power grows. It's where new choices appear. Most people try to change their behavior without first changing their awareness. That's why change rarely lasts. But when your awareness expands, your actions follow naturally. You don't need to force it. You don't need to be harsh with yourself. You just need to be present long enough for truth to arise. You are not broken. You are not your thoughts. You are not your emotions. You are the awareness behind all of it. And when you claim the truth, not by saying it, but by living it, you begin to unlock potential you didn't know you had. You become calm in chaos. You become clear in confusion. You stop trying to control the world because you've realized that the real control lies within. Your mind will continue to produce thoughts. That's what minds do. It's not about stopping the flow, it's about changing your relationship with it. Most people are caught in a trance of automatic thinking. They don't even realize how deeply their lives are being driven by unexamined beliefs. But you can wake up. You can sit back and say, that's just a thought, and in that moment everything changes. You're no longer in the grip of the story. You're the one watching the story unfold. This isn't about passivity. It's not about doing nothing. It's about responding instead of reacting. When you observe your thoughts with neutrality, you reclaim the space between impulse and action. That space is where wisdom lives. That space is where transformation begins. You no longer rush to fix, to judge, to solve. You allow. And from that allowance, clarity emerges. The voice in your head is not the enemy. It's just a collection of memories, expectations, and habits trying to make sense of the world. It's trying to protect you, even when it causes suffering. But you're not here to be protected from life. You're here to live it fully. And living fully means stepping into the raw, honest truth of each moment. That means seeing your thoughts for what they are, mental events, not facts, not destiny, not you. There is nothing to fix. There is only more to see. The more you see, the more you free yourself from the patterns that once ruled you. You stop chasing perfection. You stop fearing mistakes. You start living with presence, and that presence becomes your superpower. It makes you more resilient, more compassionate, more steady, because you're no longer tossed around by the highs and lows of mental chatter. You're grounded in awareness. And the more grounded you are, the more your life aligns with truth. You begin to act from clarity, not confusion. You speak from intention, not insecurity. You move from inner stillness, not outer pressure. That shift in energy changes everything. It changes how you show up. It changes what you attract. It changes how you handle difficulty. You no longer need the world to behave a certain way for you to feel okay. You've created your own internal peace, and no one can take that from you. This practice is not about becoming perfect. It's about becoming real. It's about having the courage to look at yourself honestly and still choose to love what you see, to recognize the chaos in your mind without letting it define your life, to acknowledge your fear without letting it control your decisions, to welcome every thought, every emotion, and every part of you with curiosity instead of criticism. That kind of self-awareness builds unshakable self-trust. It takes practice. It takes patience. But the more you do it, the more natural it becomes. One day you'll catch a thought mid-sentence and realize it doesn't belong to you anymore. One day you'll feel a wave of anxiety and choose to sit with it instead of running. One day you'll look in the mirror and feel a deep sense of peace, not because your mind is silent, but because you've stopped believing every story it tells. That's freedom. That's power. Claiming your power is not about dominating your mind, it's about understanding it. The more you understand, the less you fear. The less you fear, the more grounded you become. And from that grounded place, you can make choices that serve your highest good, not out of fear, but out of wisdom. That's the path of mastery. That's the journey back to yourself. Not by becoming someone else, but by observing everything you are and choosing to meet it all with awareness, honesty, and love. Chapter 4. Strengthen your identity by meditating in silence each morning. Before the world wakes up, before the noise begins, before the demands of the day pull at your mind, there's a window, a sacred moment where you can sit with yourself, in silence, and listen, not to your thoughts, not to your doubts, but to your presence, to the part of you that exists beyond identity, beyond name, beyond effort. Every morning is a chance to return to that space, a place where you're not reacting, not performing, not trying to impress anyone. You're just being. And in that being, something powerful happens. Your sense of self begins to solidify. Not the fake self, built from titles or roles, but your real identity, the one that can't be shaken by praise or criticism. Meditation in silence strips away the layers you didn't know you were wearing. You sit down, and at first it's uncomfortable. Your thoughts race. Your body fidgets. Your mind screams to be distracted. But you stay, and you breathe, and you notice. The more you return to this space, the more you realize how little of your life has been lived from a place of grounded presence. You've been chasing images, ideals, expectations. You've been moving on autopilot, reacting instead of choosing. But here, in the stillness, none of that matters. Because silence doesn't care who you think you are. It reveals who you've always been. Your identity is shaped by where you place your attention. Most people let the world decide for them. They wake up and immediately plug into noise, social media, news, conversations filled with shallow urgency. That noise becomes their narrative. That noise becomes their reality. But if you start your day in silence, you reclaim authorship over your own story. You set the tone, not by force, but by returning to center. In that quiet space, you begin to build a relationship with yourself that isn't dependent on performance or validation. This is where inner strength grows, not in moments of glory, but in the discipline of showing up for yourself, even when it's inconvenient, especially when it's uncomfortable. Sitting in silence each morning teaches you how to face yourself without distraction. You confront your inner dialogue. You face your discomfort. You notice the patterns that try to run your life, but you don't judge them. You don't try to fix them. You just watch. And in that act of watching, you regain control. You begin to see that you are not your reactions. You are not your impulses. You are the one who observes, the one who chooses, the one who can break the cycle. The world will never stop trying to shape you. It will sell you images of success. It will whisper that you're not enough. It will offer you shortcuts to avoid the hard work of self-awareness. But when you sit in silence each morning, you start building a deeper kind of confidence. Not the kind that comes from external results. The kind that arises from knowing who you are. And once you know that, no one can take it from you. You stop comparing. You stop chasing approval. You stop pretending. You stand in your truth, not because it's trendy, but because it's rooted. You don't find yourself through noise. You find yourself by stripping the noise away. Silence doesn't give you answers in words. It gives you clarity through stillness. You begin to hear the rhythm of your own breath. You begin to feel the beat of your heart. You remember what it feels like to just exist, without needing to explain yourself. That experience, repeated daily, strengthens something within you. It's not about emptying your mind or reaching enlightenment. It's about remembering that before all the labels, all the stories, all the striving, you were already whole. Morning silence is not a ritual for productivity. It's a commitment to your integrity, a promise to show up fully, from the inside out. The more you practice, the more you start seeing the difference between noise and truth. You become aware of the subtle ways you lie to yourself throughout the day, how you shrink to fit in, how you perform to be accepted, how you avoid discomfort by numbing out. But in silence you face all of it, not with shame but with honesty. And that honesty sets you free. You start to walk through your day differently, more grounded, more intentional, more at peace with who you are, because you've anchored yourself in something real, not in temporary motivation or external validation, but in a quiet connection to your core. That core doesn't need to shout to be heard. It doesn't need to prove anything. It knows its worth. It knows its path. And every morning that you sit in silence, you strengthen your connection to that core. You won't always feel like meditating. You won't always feel calm when you do it. Some mornings will feel pointless. Some days your mind will be loud, restless, frustrated. But that's not a failure. That's the work. The discipline is in the return, in showing up regardless of the outcome, in reminding yourself that silence is not a task, it's a space you create for growth, a space where nothing is expected of you except presence. And that presence will transform you if you let it. Most people are waiting for the world to give them clarity. They think that once everything calms down, they'll finally feel centered. But it works the other way around. You bring the calm, you bring the clarity, you cultivate it inside, and then you bring it into the world. Silence teaches you how. Every time you return to your breath, every time you choose stillness over distraction, you're building the muscles of identity. You're training your mind to listen instead of react. You're reminding your nervous system that safety comes from within, not from control. You don't need to change everything at once. Just start with 5 minutes. Sit, breathe, watch. Do it again tomorrow, and again the next day. Slowly, something shifts. You begin to feel more rooted, more focused, more honest. You stop abandoning yourself when things get hard. You stop looking outside for answers that can only come from within. You begin to recognize the voice of your intuition, and more importantly, you begin to trust it. The strength of your identity is directly linked to the time you spend with yourself in silence, without distractions. That's where the real transformation begins. Not in a burst of motivation, but in the quiet choice to sit still and pay attention. You're not trying to become someone else. You're trying to remember who you were before the world told you what to be. Meditation is the daily practice of that remembrance. There's no secret formula, no perfect technique, just you, your breath, and your willingness to sit through the discomfort long enough to reach clarity. The mind will resist. It will tell you this is boring, pointless, unproductive. But don't listen, stay with it. The discomfort is a doorway. The silence is a mirror. And what you find there beneath the noise, beneath the fear, beneath the endless doing, is a version of you that's been waiting to be seen. A version of you that's steady, strong, and unshakably real. Your power is not in what you show the world. It's in what you build when no one is watching. Every morning you choose silence. You choose strength, not the loud kind, not the kind that needs applause, but the kind that shows up quietly, every day, the kind that doesn't waver when things go wrong, the kind that keeps you rooted when life tries to shake you. That strength is already within you. Silence just helps you hear it. The world is loud, the pressure is real, but your inner world doesn't have to be chaotic. You can create peace. You can create clarity. You can build a foundation that doesn't crumble under stress. But it starts with one simple act. Sitting still, each morning in silence. No excuses, no distractions, just you and the breath. That's where the real identity begins. Not in what you do, but in who you are when you do nothing at all. You don't need to meditate perfectly. You just need to show up, because each time you sit in silence, you're making a choice to lead yourself instead of being led by noise, a choice to strengthen your inner world instead of being consumed by the outer one, a choice to remember that everything you're looking for, clarity, strength, direction, is already within you. You just have to be still long enough to see it. And when you see it, you start living from it. And when you live from it, you become unshakable. Chapter 5. Activate inner change by feeling gratitude in your body. Most people think gratitude is just an idea, a polite phrase you say in passing. something you scribble in a journal and forget about. But true gratitude isn't a thought. It's not a list. It's not even words. Real gratitude is a feeling that lives in your body. It's not enough to know what you're thankful for. You have to feel it deeply, physically, viscerally. That's where inner change begins. Not in the mind, but in the body. Not in theory, but in direct experience. You don't transform your life by reading motivational quotes. You transform it when you allow yourself to embody a higher state of being, starting with gratitude. You've been conditioned to chase more money, more recognition, more success. But have you ever stopped long enough to feel what you already have? Not just notice it, but actually allow your nervous system to absorb it. When you drop into your body and focus on what's good, what's right, what's already present, you change your internal chemistry. You begin activating new pathways that pull you out of scarcity, fear, and tension. The moment you feel real gratitude, not just say you're grateful, but feel it, you shift your frequency. And once that shift happens, you start behaving differently, thinking differently, living differently. Gratitude is not passive. It's not weak. It's not some fluffy mindset technique. It's a radical act of ownership. It means you stop outsourcing your happiness to the next milestone. It means you stop telling yourself that peace only comes when life looks a certain way. It means you choose to live in alignment with what's already working, instead of obsessing over what's missing. That choice, repeated daily, begins to rewire your nervous system, because the body doesn't lie. When you feel gratitude in your body, your whole internal state begins to reorganize around appreciation instead of lack. Start with something simple. Close your eyes. Take a slow breath. Now think about something that has brought you peace, comfort, or joy recently. A conversation, a kind gesture, a warm meal. Don't just recall it, relive it. Imagine it in full detail. Where were you? What did it feel like? What did it sound like? How did your body respond in that moment? Now take that memory and drop it into your chest. Let your body feel the safety, the warmth, the love. Notice what shifts. Your shoulders relax. Your breath deepens. Your heart feels lighter. That's the beginning of inner change. That's how you start taking control of your internal state, instead of letting the outside world dictate it for you. Too many people are stuck in survival mode. They wake up braced for attack. Their nervous systems are locked in defense, scanning for threats. When you live like that, it doesn't matter how much success you achieve, you won't feel safe enough to enjoy it. You'll stay reactive, anxious, numb. Gratitude interrupts that pattern. It tells your body, you're okay. Right here, right now, you're okay. You're safe. You're supported. You're not missing anything. And that message begins to create space for healing, clarity, and power. You don't have to wait for life to be perfect to feel grateful. In fact, if you wait for that, you'll never feel it. Gratitude is the decision to see clearly, to see that even in the chaos, there are blessings. Even in the struggle, there are lessons. Even in the pain, there is growth. When you stop intellectualizing gratitude and start living it, everything changes. You stop complaining. You stop comparing. You stop chasing validation. Because when you're full, you stop reaching. And when you stop reaching, you come home to yourself. Most people confuse gratitude with pretending everything is okay. That's not real gratitude. Real gratitude sees the truth. It acknowledges the hard stuff. It doesn't deny reality, but it also refuses to let pain be the whole story. It chooses to see beauty in the middle of mess. It chooses to feel appreciation, even when life is imperfect. And that choice gives you power, because once you realize you can generate gratitude from within, you're no longer a victim of circumstances. You become a creator of your emotional state. Try this when something small goes right. Don't rush past it. Let yourself feel it. When someone is kind to you, let the warmth of that moment land in your body. When the sun hits your skin, pause and absorb it. When you drink clean water, recognize the gift in that. Don't just move on to the next thing. Stop, breathe, feel. Anchor the experience into your body. That's how you teach your nervous system to feel safe again. That's how you create emotional stability from the inside out. Gratitude isn't just a feeling, it's a frequency. When you tune your body to that frequency, you begin to attract more of what matches it. Not through magical thinking, but through behavior alignment. You speak differently. You listen better. You show up with integrity. You stop leaking energy into negativity. You start recognizing opportunities you would have otherwise missed. All because you made the daily decision to feel gratitude in your body, instead of living in mental noise. And here's the truth, you can't fake this. You can't just write down 5 things and expect your life to change. You have to slow down long enough to truly feel the shift, to actually connect with the experience of gratitude in your chest, your breath, your bones. It takes presence, it takes discipline, but it's worth it, because once you feel that shift, you'll never want to go back. You'll stop chasing highs. You'll stop numbing discomfort. You'll start building your life from a place of wholeness. You are not broken. You don't need to be fixed. You just need to remember who you are. And gratitude helps you do that. It grounds you. It recenters you. It reminds you that you're not behind, that you're not failing, that you're already living a life full of small miracles. But you've been too distracted to notice. Until now. Now you have a choice. You can choose to slow down. You can choose to drop in. You can choose to feel everything without running from it, without judging it. And in that feeling, you wake up. Not just mentally, somatically, spiritually, emotionally. Inner change doesn't happen in your head. It happens when you consistently regulate your internal state. And gratitude is one of the fastest ways to do that. You don't need a perfect morning routine. You don't need a spiritual retreat. You just need to pause, breathe and feel. Every single day, you need to let yourself be present with the good in your life. Not because everything is ideal, but because you deserve to live from fullness, not from lack. You deserve to feel safe in your body. You deserve to feel peace without permission from the world. You may be carrying pain. That's okay. Gratitude doesn't eliminate pain. It helps you carry it differently. It softens your relationship to it. It reminds you that life is more than hardship, that there's still beauty, still light, still connection. But you have to let it in. You have to create space for it. Gratitude can't grow in a tense, distracted, reactive body. You have to give it room to breathe. You have to slow down long enough to receive it. This is a practice, a commitment, a lifestyle. You don't do it once and expect permanent transformation. You return to it every day. When you're tired, when you're overwhelmed, when you're doubting yourself, that's when you double down on feeling gratitude. Not because it's easy, but because it's essential. Because you know that no external success will ever be enough if you can't feel joy in your body. If you can't access peace without something to prove. You are your own greatest resource. You are your own center of power. But to access that power, you have to get out of your head and back into your body. You have to remember what it feels like to be alive, awake and grounded. Gratitude helps you do that, not as a performance but as a quiet return to your essence, to the part of you that is content, present, whole. This is how you activate inner change, not by forcing it, not by fixing yourself, but by reconnecting with the truth that you've always been enough. Gratitude is how you embody that truth, slowly, gently, consistently, and once you do, everything else begins to shift. Not because the world changes, but because you do. You move through life differently. You love more freely. You forgive more easily. You create from a place of depth. All because you chose to feel what's good. Not just think about it, but live it. In your body, every single day. Chapter 6. Create new emotions by thinking greater than your past. You are not your past. The memories, experiences, and emotions that have shaped you do not define who you are. The person you were in your previous chapters is not the same person standing here today, nor is the person you are today the person you will be tomorrow. Growth and transformation are grounded in the understanding that the only thing that matters is the way you choose to think right now. To create new emotions and new experiences, you must consciously choose to think greater than the life you've already lived. You must think beyond the boundaries that your past has imposed upon you and allow your mind to conceive of a future that surpasses all previous limitations. Most people are tethered to their past. They live with the constant burden of old memories that dictate their present reality. These memories often come with deep-rooted emotions, regret, anger, shame, or fear, and they become so intertwined with a person's sense of self that it feels impossible to break free. But you have the ability to transcend these emotions by deciding to think greater than the history that has shaped them. You have the power to rewrite your story by shifting your internal narrative and by developing a mindset that is focused on possibility, not limitation. The past is a collection of experiences. It is not a blueprint for your future unless you choose to allow it to be. The key to creating new emotions is breaking the cycle of conditioned thinking that keeps you in a place of limitation. These thoughts, grounded in your past experiences, are the very things that block you from accessing your true potential. They tell you that you are defined by your mistakes, your setbacks, and your failures. They tell you that your future will be a carbon copy of your past. But if you want to create a new emotional experience, you must challenge these thoughts. You must think beyond what you've already lived. The first step in thinking greater than your past is to recognize that your mind is a powerful tool for transformation. Your thoughts shape your feelings, and your feelings shape your actions. If your thoughts are constantly replaying the narratives of what didn't work, or focusing on the negative experiences you've had, then your feelings will follow suit. You will feel defeated, discouraged, and unworthy of something better. However, when you consciously choose to think thoughts that empower you, that align with who you want to become, you begin to change how you feel. Your emotional state shifts, and with it, your ability to create a different reality. Thinking greater than your past means choosing to focus on what is possible, not what has been. It means shifting your attention away from the limitations that have been ingrained in you and moving towards what is truly available to you. This isn't about denying the past or pretending that it didn't happen. It's about recognizing that your past is just that asterisk, the past. Asterisk, it has no control over who you are today, and it certainly doesn't have the power to dictate who you will become. You must begin to create new emotional states by choosing thoughts that align with the future you wish to create. The thoughts that once kept you trapped in fear, doubt, and regret must now be replaced with thoughts of possibility, success, and abundance. Your emotional state is like a compass. It directs your actions. If your emotions are rooted in the negativity of your past, you will unconsciously move in the direction of more pain, more frustration, and more disappointment. But when you choose to elevate your emotions by thinking greater than your past, you give yourself the freedom to create a new direction for your life. Think about the times when you felt powerful, confident, and capable. These moments were not defined by your circumstances. They were born from the way you chose to think. You chose thoughts that made you feel strong, empowered, and alive. That feeling is available to you at all times, but it requires that you break free from the habitual patterns of thinking that are tied to your past. It's about reprogramming your mind to recognize that your potential is limitless, that you are not bound by any past experience, and that your future can be filled with incredible opportunities. One of the most transformative shifts you can make is to stop identifying with your past self. Stop seeing yourself as the person who made mistakes, who failed, who struggled. Instead, start identifying with the person you are becoming. Start seeing yourself as the future version of yourself, living in alignment with your highest potential. This shift in identity is the foundation for creating new emotions. When you think greater than your past, you elevate your emotional state, and in turn, you elevate your actions. You begin to behave in a way that is consistent with the person you're becoming, not the person you've been. But this process requires practice and consistency. It doesn't happen overnight, and it certainly doesn't happen without effort. You must be intentional in the thoughts you choose. You must train your mind to focus on what's possible, even when the evidence of your past might suggest otherwise. You must believe in the possibility of a greater future, even when your past experiences may not support that belief. This requires courage. It requires the courage to confront your doubts, to challenge your fears, and to let go of the narratives that have kept you stuck. One of the most powerful tools you have in this process is visualization. By regularly visualizing the life you want to create, the emotions you want to feel, the success you want to experience, you begin to condition your mind to align with that vision. As you practice visualizing your ideal future, you start to feel the emotions associated with that future. These emotions become the foundation for your new reality. You begin to feel the excitement, the confidence, and the joy of living your best life, and in turn, you begin to act in ways that align with those feelings. Your emotions are no longer dictated by the past, they are fueled by the possibilities of your future. Another powerful strategy is to practice gratitude for the present moment. Gratitude is a tool for shifting your focus away from what's lacking in your life and towards what's abundant. When you practice gratitude, you begin to change your emotional state by focusing on the good in your life. This shift in focus helps to create new emotional experiences because it trains your brain to see the opportunities that exist right now, rather than focusing on the mistakes or limitations of your past. Gratitude helps you connect to the present moment and allows you to create new emotions that are rooted in appreciation, joy, and abundance. You can also create new emotions by choosing to take consistent action towards the future you desire. When you make the conscious decision to take action, even when you don't feel ready or confident, you begin to build momentum. Each small step you take towards your goals reinforces the belief that you are capable of creating something greater than your past. Your actions, when aligned with your higher vision, become the evidence of your growth and transformation. These actions become the bridge between where you are now and where you want to be. Ultimately, the key to creating new emotions and new experiences lies in your ability to think beyond your past. When you decide to let go of the beliefs and limitations that have been shaped by your previous experiences, you open the door to infinite possibilities. By choosing to think greater than your past, you create space for new emotions to emerge. Emotions of possibility, empowerment and joy. Emotions that will drive you to act in ways that align with your highest potential. Your past may have shaped you, but it does not define you. You have the power to create your future by thinking greater than what you have already lived. And in doing so, you will experience a profound shift in your emotional world that will propel you toward the life you desire. Chapter 7. Break old habits by embracing stillness without distraction. Breaking old habits requires a deep shift in how you perceive yourself and your environment. The old habits that have controlled your life up until now did not appear overnight. They have been built and reinforced over time. They are the result of repeated actions and reactions, often stemming from a need for comfort or familiarity. To break these old patterns, you must first understand that breaking them is not a matter of willpower alone. It requires a shift in mindset and a commitment to the process of change. One of the most powerful methods to dismantle these old habits is by embracing stillness without distraction. In stillness, you access a level of clarity that is often obscured by the noise and busyness of daily life. The world around you is filled with distractions, from technology to the demands of work and social obligations. It can feel impossible to find the peace and quiet necessary for deep reflection. Yet, in the midst of this noise, you must recognize that the distractions are a major reason why you've continued to fall into the same patterns. They allow you to avoid confronting the discomfort and resistance that arise when you begin to change. Distractions are easy. They provide immediate gratification or relief from difficult emotions, but it is in the absence of these distractions that true growth and transformation can occur. Stillness is not merely the absence of noise, it is the presence of awareness. In stillness, you allow yourself to become fully present in the moment. This is the space where change can begin. In this space, there are no distractions to pull your attention away. You become fully aware of your thoughts, emotions, and actions. You see clearly the patterns that have kept you stuck in the same loops, and you begin to realize that you have the power to change them. This realization is the first step toward breaking old habits. One of the most profound benefits of embracing stillness is that it helps you identify the root causes of your habits. Habits are often driven by unconscious needs or desires, needs for comfort, approval, or a sense of security. When you take the time to sit in stillness, free from external influences, you create the space to observe these desires without judgment. You begin to see that your habits are not just random actions, they are tied to deeper emotional needs. Once you become aware of these needs, you can begin to address them directly, without relying on the habitual behaviors that no longer serve you. In the stillness, you also gain insight into the emotions that drive your habits. Many habits are the result of trying to avoid or numb certain emotions, stress, boredom, anxiety, or sadness. By sitting in stillness, you allow yourself to feel these emotions fully, without immediately seeking a way to escape them. This is often the most difficult part of breaking a habit, facing the uncomfortable emotions that have been buried under layers of distraction. But when you are able to sit with these emotions in stillness, you begin to understand them. You realize that they do not have to control your actions. You can feel them without being defined by them. Stillness also allows you to see the patterns of behavior that have become automatic. Over time, your mind and body have learned to operate on autopilot, reacting to triggers without conscious thought. These reactions become ingrained in your neural pathways, making it feel as though breaking the habit is impossible. However, in the stillness, you give yourself the space to notice these automatic responses before they take hold. You begin to develop the ability to choose a different response. This is where true change happens, in the space between stimulus and reaction. When you embrace stillness, you can create that space. You can choose how to respond rather than simply reacting out of habit. The practice of stillness also cultivates patience. Breaking old habits is not an overnight process. It requires time, consistency, and the willingness to face discomfort. When you are constantly distracted by the demands of life, it's easy to become impatient with the process of change. But stillness teaches you to be present with the process, to trust that change is happening even when it's not immediately visible. This patience is crucial because it allows you to stay the course, even when old patterns resurface. The key is to recognize that each moment of stillness is a step forward, even if you don't see immediate results. Stillness is also a powerful tool for cultivating self-compassion. Often when we attempt to break old habits, we approach the process with harsh self-judgment. We beat ourselves up for falling back into old patterns and become discouraged by our lack of progress. But stillness creates a space where you can observe yourself without judgment. You can see your mistakes and setbacks with a sense of understanding rather than criticism. This shift in perspective is vital for long-term success. When you approach yourself with compassion, you are more likely to stick with the process of change because you are no longer sabotaging your progress with negative self-talk. To truly break old habits, you must also recognize that stillness requires a commitment to slowing down. In our fast-paced world, it's easy to become caught up in the rush of productivity, constantly striving for the next goal or achievement. But in stillness, you learn to slow down and tune into your inner world. This slower pace allows you to be more intentional with your actions. Rather than reacting out of habit or emotion, you begin to act from a place of conscious choice. This shift is crucial because it gives you the power to reshape your behavior. There are many ways to practice stillness, and the method that works best for you may vary. For some, this might mean meditation, where you sit quietly and observe your thoughts without attachment. For others, it could be spending time in nature, away from the distractions of technology and the noise of daily life. Whatever method you choose, the goal is to create a quiet space where you can tune into yourself. It's in this space that you will begin to experience the power of change. You might find that in the beginning, it's difficult to sit in stillness. The mind can be restless, filled with thoughts, worries, and distractions, but that's okay. The key is not to force the mind into silence, but to simply allow it to be what it is. Over time, as you commit to stillness, your mind will naturally begin to quiet down. This process takes patience, but the more you practice, the easier it becomes. In the quiet, you will start to see more clearly the ways in which your old habits have held you back. And with practice, you will begin to choose new ways of thinking and acting that are aligned with the person you are becoming. In the end, breaking old habits is not about trying to force change or will yourself into something you're not. It's about embracing stillness and allowing yourself the space to become who you are meant to be. When you step away from distractions, you step into your true power. In that stillness, you find the clarity, insight, and strength to make choices that align with your highest potential. The process is gradual, but each moment of stillness brings you closer to breaking free from the habits that no longer serve you. And with that freedom comes the opportunity to live a life that is aligned with your deepest values and your highest self. Chapter 8. Reprogram your mind by repeating your future reality daily. Reprogramming your mind is one of the most powerful tools at your disposal for achieving the life you desire. It's a method that begins with the fundamental understanding that your current reality is a result of your thoughts, beliefs, and actions. To shift your circumstances, you must first shift the way you think. This doesn't happen overnight. It requires deliberate effort, consistency, and most importantly, a daily commitment to rewire your mind toward a future that is in alignment with your highest goals and ambitions. Your mind is incredibly powerful, but it can also be your greatest obstacle. For many, the thoughts and beliefs that govern their daily actions are inherited from their past experiences, their environment, and the conditioning they've absorbed throughout their lives. These beliefs, often formed unconsciously, dictate how you perceive yourself, your abilities, and what is possible for your future. If you are not intentional about what you allow your mind to focus on, you will continue to live in the cycle of the past. To break free from this cycle, you must learn to intentionally choose and repeat the vision of your future reality every day. The key to this process lies in repetition. Repetition is how you break the chains of your old beliefs and reinforce new, empowering thoughts. By repeating your future reality daily, you send powerful signals to your brain that this is not only what you desire, but what you believe is possible for yourself. These thoughts and visions begin to create new neural pathways in the brain, reprogramming your mental landscape. The more you repeat your future reality, the more these new pathways strengthen, eventually becoming your default mode of thinking. This process doesn't just involve thinking about your future, it's about feeling your future reality as if it is happening right now. Your thoughts and emotions are interconnected, and it's the emotion behind the thought that drives real change. To truly reprogram your mind, you must not only visualize where you want to be, but feel the emotions associated with that success. How does it feel to be living your dream life? How does it feel to have accomplished your biggest goals? By experiencing the emotions of your future success in the present, you are sending a powerful message to your subconscious that this is your new reality. The practice of repeating your future reality daily is not a passive activity. It is an active exercise in self-discipline. Your mind, by default, will want to return to its old ways of thinking. It will remind you of past failures, of challenges you haven't yet overcome, and of the limitations you've been conditioned to believe. This is where the true work begins. When those old thoughts arise, you must actively choose to reject them. You must remind yourself that your current situation does not define your future. The only thing that matters is what you choose to focus on right now. It's important to remember that your thoughts are not facts. They are simply mental patterns that have been conditioned over time. When you make a conscious effort to focus on your future reality, you are shifting the narrative. You are no longer defined by your past. You are now guided by your vision of what is to come. And the more you repeat this practice, the more your brain will accept it as your new truth. In addition to the repetition of positive thoughts and visions, you must also take inspired action that aligns with your future reality. Thoughts alone are not enough to bring about change. You must act in accordance with the person you are becoming, not just the person you have been. This is where the concept of acting as if becomes vital. By acting as if your future reality is already true, you start to bring it into existence. Your actions, no matter how small, serve as evidence to your brain that you are moving in the right direction. Over time, these small actions compound, and you will begin to see the tangible results of your reprogrammed mind. It's also important to recognize that this process is ongoing. Reprogramming your mind is not something you do once and forget about. It's something you must commit to every single day. In a world that is constantly changing, it's easy to become distracted or overwhelmed by external circumstances. But the power to shape your reality lies in your ability to consistently align your thoughts, emotions, and actions with your future vision. Even when things get difficult or when setbacks occur, you must continue to repeat the vision of your ideal future. Trust that every step you take, no matter how small, is moving you closer to your desired outcome. One of the most powerful tools to reinforce this daily practice is affirmations. Affirmations are simple, positive statements that you repeat to yourself, programming your mind with beliefs that align with your future reality. When you repeat affirmations, you are not only reprogramming your subconscious mind, but also affirming to yourself that you are worthy and capable of achieving the life you desire. These affirmations can be about your goals, your self-worth, your ability to succeed, or the specific vision you have for your future. By speaking these affirmations out loud every day, you create a powerful feedback loop that continuously reinforces the new beliefs you are cultivating. It's essential, however, to make these affirmations personal, specific, and emotionally charged. When you say them, feel them. Don't just repeat words, embody the feelings of success, fulfillment, and gratitude. Imagine your future reality as vividly as possible. What does it look like? What does it feel like? Who are you surrounded by? What are you doing? The more specific you can be, the more your brain will start to believe it as reality. Another key aspect of this reprogramming process is understanding that you are in control of your mind, not the other way around. Many people live their lives as though their thoughts are a force beyond their control. They react to life as if they have no choice in the matter. But when you take full responsibility for your thoughts, you realize that you are the one who chooses what you think, believe, and feel. You are the creator of your reality. This realization is empowering because it puts the power of change squarely in your hands. By repeating your future reality daily, you are exercising your power as the creator of your life. The power of repetition cannot be overstated. Your mind is a muscle, and just like any other muscle, it grows stronger with consistent use. The more you repeat your vision, the more you strengthen the neural pathways that support it. Over time, this will become your dominant thought pattern. You will no longer have to force yourself to think about your future reality. It will become your natural state of mind. Breaking through your old limitations requires this kind of persistent effort. The mind resists change, but if you keep repeating your future vision, you will eventually break through. You will develop new beliefs, new behaviors, and a new identity that is aligned with the person you want to become. This process may take time, but it's worth the effort. The more you commit to it, the quicker you will begin to see the changes in your life. In the end, reprogramming your mind by repeating your future reality daily is about consistently aligning your thoughts, emotions, and actions with your ideal future. This requires patience, discipline, and unwavering belief in your ability to create the life you desire. With time, repetition, and commitment, you will begin to see your vision become your reality. And when that happens, you will realize that the most powerful force in the universe is the power of your own mind. Chapter 9. Raise your energy by aligning thoughts with clear intentions. Your energy is the most valuable resource you have in your pursuit of personal growth, success, and fulfillment. The way you think directly influences the energy you carry, and the energy you project determines the opportunities you attract. The power of aligning your thoughts with clear intentions cannot be overstated. It is the cornerstone of how you manifest your reality, how you show up for yourself each day, and how you elevate your life to new levels of achievement. When your thoughts are aligned with your intentions, the universe itself seems to work in your favor. Energy flows freely, and everything you touch becomes an extension of your higher self. To raise your energy, it's essential to start by understanding the profound connection between your thoughts and the energy you emit. Every thought you think carries a vibrational frequency. Positive, empowering thoughts resonate at a higher frequency, while negative, limiting thoughts lower your energetic state. This vibrational frequency is not just abstract, it manifests in your actions, interactions, and results. When your thoughts are chaotic or misaligned with your deeper desires, your energy feels scattered. You may find yourself feeling drained, disconnected, or unmotivated. On the other hand, when your thoughts are clear, purposeful, and aligned with your intentions, your energy becomes a force to be reckoned with. Clear intentions are the compass that guides your thoughts. Without clear intentions, your thoughts can become a swirling, chaotic storm that lacks direction or purpose. Clear intentions are what anchor your energy, providing a focus that keeps you on track, even when challenges arise. They help you define exactly what you want, why you want it, and how you will achieve it. It is this clarity that allows you to channel your energy in the most productive and efficient way. When your thoughts are constantly pulled in various directions, it is easy to feel stuck or unproductive. But when your thoughts are aligned with your intentions, every action you take becomes purposeful, and every step you take brings you closer to your goals. The first step to raising your energy by aligning your thoughts with clear intentions is to get crystal clear on what you want. You cannot hit a target if you don't know where it is. So take the time to reflect on your desires. What is it that you truly want in life? What are your deepest aspirations? Take a moment to close your eyes and visualize your ideal reality. Imagine the details vividly. What do you see? What do you feel? What would your day look like if you were living your dream life? When you can picture this future with clarity, you can then begin to align your thoughts with it. The next step is to ensure that your thoughts support your intentions. It is easy to set an intention, but far more challenging to keep your thoughts aligned with it. Negative thoughts, doubts, and distractions will inevitably arise. This is the nature of the mind. But it is precisely in these moments that you must take control. When a negative thought enters your mind, recognize it for what it is, just a thought, not a fact. Refuse to let it take root. Instead, redirect your focus back to your clear intention. If your intention is to build a successful business, for example, any thought that doubts your ability to succeed must be replaced with thoughts of success. If your intention is to live a life of peace and joy, any thought of stress or negativity must be replaced with thoughts of gratitude and contentment. The more you practice this redirection, the more you will find your energy shifting. Your thoughts, once scattered, will become a well-aligned force propelling you toward your goals. And as your thoughts align with your intentions, your energy rises. This is because the energy you put out into the world is a reflection of your internal state. When your thoughts are in harmony with your intentions, you begin to radiate a positive energy that attracts the right people, circumstances, and opportunities into your life. One of the most powerful ways to reinforce this alignment is through daily affirmations. Affirmations are simple statements that you repeat to yourself daily, reminding yourself of your clear intentions and reinforcing your belief in your ability to achieve them. These affirmations serve as constant reminders that your thoughts are aligned with your goals, and they help you stay focused and energized throughout the day. When you speak your intentions out loud, you are solidifying them not only in your mind, but also in your body. But affirmations alone are not enough. You must also align your actions with your intentions. It is not enough to simply think about what you want. You must actively move toward it. This is where the real energy shift happens. When your thoughts are clear and your intentions are set, your actions begin to reflect that energy. You find yourself making decisions with purpose, taking steps that bring you closer to your goals, and acting from a place of confidence and clarity. This is the magic of energy alignment, when your thoughts, emotions, and actions are all in sync with your intentions. You begin to flow through life with ease. You stop fighting against the current, and instead begin to move with it. You are no longer working against yourself. Your energy becomes magnetic, and you start to see the world respond to your newfound clarity. Opportunities begin to arise. People start showing up in your life who align with your vision, and your results begin to reflect the energy you are putting out into the world. But there is another layer to this process, the emotional component. It's one thing to think positively, but it's another thing entirely to feel the energy of your intentions. Emotions are one of the most powerful forces in the human experience. They shape our reality more than we realize. When you think about your goals and feel a deep sense of excitement, passion, or gratitude, your energy vibrates at a much higher frequency. Conversely, when you think about your goals and feel doubt, fear, or frustration, your energy is low and stagnant. To raise your energy, you must begin to connect with the emotions that align with your intentions. Feel the excitement of your success as if it is already happening. Feel the pride of accomplishing your goals, the joy of living your dream life, the peace of knowing that everything is unfolding perfectly. When you can connect with the emotions of your future reality in the present moment, you raise your energetic frequency and attract more of what you desire into your life. As you continue to raise your energy by aligning your thoughts with your clear intentions, you will start to notice profound shifts in your life. You will begin to feel more connected to your purpose. You will begin to take inspired action with greater ease. And most importantly, you will begin to experience the flow of life in a way that you never have before. The key is consistency. The more consistently you align your thoughts with your intentions and raise your energy, the more effortless the process becomes. Your thoughts, emotions, and actions become a unified force that propels you forward, and your energy becomes the magnet that draws everything you desire into your life. Raising your energy by aligning your thoughts with clear intentions is not a one-time event. It's a continuous practice. It's a daily commitment to staying focused, staying positive, and staying true to your vision. But when you commit to this process, you will find that your energy becomes a source of limitless power, and your life begins to unfold in ways you never thought possible. The world will respond to your energy, and your dreams will no longer feel out of reach. They will feel inevitable. Chapter 10. Transform your biology by practicing heart-centered breathing. Heart-centered breathing is one of the most profound tools we can use to transform not just our state of mind, but our entire biology. It taps into the deep, powerful connection between our emotional and physical selves. When we breathe with intention and awareness, we are sending a message to our body and mind that we are in control, that we are consciously guiding our experiences, and that we are aligned with the energy of life itself. Our biology, from our heartbeat to our nervous system, responds to the rhythms and intentions of our breath, altering the way we feel, think, and experience the world. The practice of heart-centered breathing focuses on breathing into the heart space, breathing with the awareness that each breath is not just filling your lungs, but also nourishing your very essence. It's a powerful practice that helps to create balance, reduce stress, and activate a state of coherence between the mind and the body. This coherence is crucial for optimal health and well-being, and it is the key to transforming your biology in a way that fosters greater energy, focus, and vitality. When we are stressed, anxious, or overwhelmed, our breathing tends to become shallow, erratic, and disconnected. This kind of breathing activates the sympathetic nervous system, also known as the fight or flight system. It prepares us for a threat, whether real or perceived, and sends a cascade of stress hormones through the body. This can lead to a variety of negative effects, including raised blood pressure, decreased immune function, and heightened levels of anxiety. Our biology, in this state, becomes primed for survival rather than thriving. However, by shifting our focus to heart-centered breathing, we can intentionally activate the parasympathetic nervous system, the rest and digest system. This shift allows the body to relax, to enter a state of calm and renewal, where healing and regeneration can occur. By focusing on the heart and using the breath to bring awareness to this vital area of the body, we can initiate a transformation in how we feel, think, and function. Heart-centered breathing is not just a mental practice, it is a physiological one that activates deep changes within our biology. The practice of heart-centered breathing is simple but profound. Begin by finding a quiet space where you can sit or lie comfortably. Close your eyes and bring your awareness to your breath. Don't force it, simply observe the natural rhythm of your breathing. Feel the rise and fall of your chest, the flow of air in and out of your body. Now, gently direct your focus to the area around your heart. You can even place your hand on your chest to anchor your attention there. As you inhale, imagine drawing the breath into your heart space, filling it with warmth and light. As you exhale, release any tension or stress, letting go of anything that doesn't serve you. This is the beginning of the transformation. As you continue to breathe in this way, you will begin to notice subtle shifts in your energy. Your breathing becomes deeper, slower, and more rhythmic. Your heart rate may slow, and a sense of peace will begin to settle over you. Over time, with practice, this breathing technique will not only help you reduce stress and calm your mind, but it will also begin to reprogram your body's natural responses to stress. Instead of reacting to challenges with fear and anxiety, you will begin to respond with greater clarity, calmness, and confidence. The power of heart-centered breathing lies in its ability to reconnect us with the present moment. When we focus on our heart and breathe with intention, we are essentially telling our body that we are safe, that there is no immediate threat. In this state of safety, the body can begin to heal, regenerate, and operate at its highest potential. We activate our parasympathetic nervous system, which lowers stress levels, improves digestion, enhances circulation, and supports the immune system. This is how the biology of the body is transformed through the simple act of mindful, heart-centered breathing. It's also important to understand that heart-centered breathing doesn't just have an impact on our physical health, it has a profound effect on our emotions and mental state. Our breath is a bridge between the body and the mind. By breathing into the heart, we are connecting with our emotions, allowing them to flow without judgment or resistance. We create space for emotions to move through us, instead of getting stuck in our body, where they can manifest as tension, pain, or illness. Heart-centered breathing allows us to release old emotions, heal past wounds, and create a sense of emotional freedom and stability. As we continue to practice this breathing technique, we begin to notice that our energy shifts in subtle but powerful ways. We feel more grounded, more centered, and more at peace with ourselves. We start to experience a deeper sense of connection to our own bodies and to the world around us. Our thoughts become clearer, more focused, and more aligned with our highest intentions. We begin to act with more confidence, more ease, and more grace, because we are no longer driven by fear or stress, but by a sense of calm, clarity, and purpose. This practice can also be used to enhance creativity, problem-solving, and decision-making. When we are stressed or anxious, our thinking becomes clouded, and it becomes difficult to access the deeper wisdom within us. By practicing heart-centered breathing, we create the mental clarity needed to make better decisions, solve problems more effectively, and tap into our innate creativity. The relaxation and calm that come from deep intentional breathing open the door to new possibilities and perspectives. Moreover, heart-centered breathing is an essential practice for anyone looking to increase their energy and vitality. By calming the nervous system and enhancing circulation, we activate the body's natural healing processes, boosting our overall energy levels. As our biology becomes more balanced and harmonious, we feel more vibrant and alive. The more we practice, the more energized we become, and the more we can accomplish with greater focus and clarity. One of the most transformative aspects of heart-centered breathing is its ability to reconnect us with our heart's desires. When we breathe deeply into the heart space, we are not just calming the body, we are opening ourselves up to deeper wisdom, intuition, and guidance. This practice allows us to access the truth within us, the desires and dreams that are often buried beneath the noise of daily life. It is in this stillness, this heart-centered awareness, that we find the answers to the questions that matter most. We connect with our true purpose and gain clarity on our path forward. Ultimately, the power of heart-centered breathing lies in its simplicity and accessibility. It is a tool that anyone can use, anytime, anywhere, to transform their biology, emotions, and mental state. By practicing this technique regularly, we tap into a deep well of energy, vitality, and inner peace that supports us in all areas of life. We begin to move through the world with greater ease, confidence, and clarity, knowing that we are connected to a source of infinite power within us. Through heart-centered breathing, we activate the transformative potential of our biology, mind, and spirit. Chapter 11. Connect to the present by letting go of control. Letting go of control is one of the most liberating actions you can take. It is often misunderstood because, in a world that values power and command, control is seen as a strength. But in reality, the constant need to control our surroundings, others, and even ourselves is a barrier to the peace, clarity, and freedom we seek. When we are unable to relinquish control, we bind ourselves to anxiety, frustration, and unnecessary stress, constantly fighting against the flow of life. The moment we release this need for control, we open ourselves up to the fullness of the present moment, which is where true freedom resides. The paradox is that, by letting go of control, we gain far more than we could by trying to force everything to align with our expectations. There is immense strength in surrender. It is not weakness, nor is it passivity. It is a conscious decision to trust in life, in others, and in ourselves. The act of letting go of control allows us to reconnect with the present, which is the only time where life truly unfolds. In the present, there are no past regrets or future fears, just the richness of what is, here and now. When we constantly try to control everything around us, we are projecting our fears about the future or our past experiences onto the present. The need to control arises from an underlying fear, fear of failure, fear of judgment, fear of the unknown. The more we hold on to that fear, the more we tighten our grip on life. But the tighter we hold, the more we suffer. Control is a reaction to fear, and fear has the power to rob us of the very things we want most: peace, joy, and growth. The truth is, the more we try to control our lives, the more we push away the very things we desire. Control creates a false sense of security, but in reality, it only keeps us stuck in a cycle of stress and resistance. It prevents us from fully experiencing the beauty of life as it unfolds, moment by moment. When we let go of control, we are choosing to trust the process of life, accepting that we cannot dictate everything that happens, but we can control how we respond to it. In our effort to control the world around us, we often forget that we can only control ourselves. We can't control how other people behave, the outcomes of our actions, or the twists and turns of life. But we can control our response. When we release the need to control, we embrace a deeper sense of inner freedom. We allow ourselves to be fully present with what is happening now, without trying to change or manipulate it. This is where real transformation happens. Being present is the opposite of being in control. To be present, we must let go of all distractions and expectations. We must let go of our mental chatter, of our endless to-do lists, and of our judgments about what should or shouldn't be. The present moment does not need to be fixed or perfected. It simply needs to be experienced. When we let go of the need to control it, we are free to engage with life as it is, fully immersed in the experience. Letting go of control doesn't mean giving up responsibility or abandoning our goals. It means releasing the obsessive need to dictate every detail. It means allowing room for spontaneity and trust in the unknown. It means acknowledging that we don't have all the answers, and that's okay. When we stop trying to control every outcome, we open ourselves to new possibilities, unexpected opportunities, and the beauty of life as it is. The willingness to let go brings peace, and that peace is what allows us to thrive. A significant part of letting go of control is releasing the desire for perfection. Perfectionism is another form of control, an illusion that we can make everything just right, if only we try hard enough. But in striving for perfection, we create stress and dissatisfaction. No matter how hard we try, perfection is an unattainable goal. The truth is, life is messy, imperfect, and unpredictable, and that is what makes it rich and beautiful. By letting go of the need for perfection, we make room for the flow of life to carry us where we need to go. The more we try to control, the more we close ourselves off from the present moment. We become so focused on what's coming next that we fail to see the beauty of what's right in front of us. Life doesn't wait for us to get it all figured out. The present moment is all we have, and it is in this moment where everything unfolds. When we release the need for control, we align ourselves with the flow of life, and we can finally experience the peace and joy that come from simply being. The beauty of letting go is that it allows us to stop fighting against life. When we let go of control, we stop struggling against the natural rhythm of things. We trust that what is happening is exactly what needs to happen, even if we don't understand it in the moment. Letting go means releasing our attachment to specific outcomes and accepting that life is constantly changing, flowing, and evolving. When we stop trying to control, we begin to see things more clearly. We start to understand the lessons life is offering, and we are able to make better decisions from a place of calm awareness rather than fear-driven reaction. To let go of control, we must also let go of the need for validation from others. Our desire for approval often comes from a need to control how we are perceived. We want others to see us in a certain way, so we try to control the image we project. But when we let go of this desire for validation, we free ourselves from the burden of other people's opinions. We allow ourselves to simply be who we are, without needing to prove anything. This is true freedom, the ability to be authentic and present, without the need for external validation. Letting go also requires us to accept that we cannot always control our circumstances. Life is unpredictable, and sometimes things don't go as planned. But that's okay. By accepting the uncertainty of life, we release ourselves from the constant pressure to have everything figured out. We give ourselves permission to be imperfect, to stumble, and to learn as we go. This shift in perspective allows us to approach life with more curiosity and less fear, more openness and less resistance. The practice of letting go of control is not something that happens overnight. It takes time and practice, but every step we take toward letting go brings us closer to the present moment and to the peace we seek. It requires us to let go of our attachment to outcomes, to trust the process, and to be willing to surrender to the flow of life. But as we do, we find that we are more resilient, more connected to our true selves, and more at peace with the world around us. Ultimately, when we let go of control, we experience life as it is, in its fullest expression. We are no longer trying to force things into place, but instead allowing them to unfold naturally. And in this space we discover the power of the present moment, where true peace, freedom, and joy reside. The key to living fully is not in controlling everything but in trusting, surrendering, and letting go. And in this surrender, we find the power to be truly alive. Chapter 12. Build emotional strength by facing discomfort without fear. Facing discomfort without fear is one of the most powerful ways to build emotional strength. In our daily lives, we encounter countless situations that challenge us, push us to our limits, and demand that we confront aspects of ourselves we may prefer to avoid. It could be stepping into a difficult conversation, taking on a new responsibility, or confronting our own insecurities. Whatever the discomfort, we have a choice. We can shy away from it, trying to escape or avoid the unpleasant feeling, or we can face it head-on, using it as an opportunity to grow stronger. The most common response to discomfort is fear. Fear of failure, fear of judgment, fear of the unknown. These are just a few of the forms fear can take. It's natural for us to want to avoid uncomfortable situations because they stir up feelings that we don't want to face. But here's the key. Fear does not have the power to control us unless we allow it to. Fear is simply a reaction to the unknown. When we face discomfort without fear, we take back control. We no longer let fear dictate our actions or hold us back from becoming the person we are capable of being. Emotional strength is built through our ability to withstand and move through discomfort. It's easy to be strong when things are going well, when life is smooth, and everything is in place. But true emotional strength is forged in the fire of discomfort and adversity. It is in those moments when we are tested, when we face challenges that seem insurmountable, that we have the opportunity to strengthen our emotional muscles. Each time we confront discomfort without allowing fear to take over, we become more resilient, more capable of handling whatever life throws our way. There is a misconception that emotional strength means being immune to fear or discomfort. In reality, emotional strength is not the absence of fear, but the ability to act in spite of it. The strongest people are not those who never experience fear, but those who experience it and choose to move forward anyway. They recognize fear for what it is, a natural response, but not something that should dictate their actions. When you choose to face discomfort head-on, you are no longer controlled by it. You are choosing to take command of your own response. One of the most important aspects of building emotional strength is learning to sit with discomfort without rushing to escape it. In our society, we are often taught to avoid unpleasant feelings. We seek out distractions, numbing ourselves with things like food, social media, or substances in order to avoid dealing with our emotions. But this avoidance only makes us weaker. The more we run from discomfort, the more we reinforce the belief that we are incapable of handling it. In reality, the only way to build emotional strength is by allowing ourselves to feel discomfort fully and learn from it. When you face discomfort without fear, you start to see it as a teacher rather than something to be feared. Each uncomfortable situation is an opportunity to grow, to learn, and to deepen your understanding of yourself. The more you face these moments with courage, the less power they have over you. You stop seeing discomfort as a threat and begin to view it as a tool for growth. Every time you face discomfort and move through it, you prove to yourself that you are stronger than you think. Building emotional strength is also about being patient with yourself. We live in a world that demands immediate results, but emotional growth doesn't happen overnight. It's a gradual process that requires consistent effort. Just as physical muscles need time to grow stronger through regular exercise, emotional strength is developed through regular practice. The more you face discomfort and push through it, the more your emotional capacity will expand. But it's important to be kind to yourself during this process. You may stumble along the way, you may feel fear, and you may want to give up, but that's okay. Each step forward, no matter how small, is a victory. You are building strength with every moment you choose to face discomfort without fear. One of the key elements of facing discomfort without fear is reframing how we view challenges. Instead of seeing them as obstacles to avoid, we can start to see them as opportunities to stretch beyond our comfort zone. When we embrace discomfort, we are choosing to expand our emotional boundaries, to reach higher, and to become more than we were before. It is in these moments that we learn what we are truly capable of. We discover strength within ourselves that we never knew existed, simply by stepping into discomfort rather than running away from it. Fear often arises when we face the unknown. The fear of uncertainty can paralyze us, but when we learn to embrace discomfort, we learn to navigate uncertainty with confidence. We realize that the unknown is not something to be feared, but something to be explored. Every time we step into the unknown, we build our ability to handle whatever life throws our way. The more we do it, the more comfortable we become with discomfort. The unknown becomes less intimidating, and our capacity for emotional resilience grows. Building emotional strength is also about cultivating a mindset of courage and determination. It's about choosing to act even when you feel afraid, choosing to face the difficult conversations, the challenging situations, and the uncomfortable emotions. It's not about being fearless, it's about being brave enough to take action in spite of fear. Courage is not the absence of fear, it's the willingness to move forward regardless of it. When you approach discomfort with courage, you are actively choosing to grow, to evolve, and to become stronger. As you continue to build emotional strength, it's important to remember that discomfort is not something to be avoided, but something to be welcomed. Every time you face discomfort, you strengthen your emotional foundation. You show yourself that you can handle whatever life brings. The more you practice this, the less fear will control your actions. You will develop the ability to face any challenge, no matter how uncomfortable, with calmness and confidence. The process of building emotional strength is not linear. There will be moments of growth, followed by moments of setbacks. But every time you face discomfort without fear, you are progressing. The key is to keep going, to keep facing the discomfort, and to keep building your emotional resilience. With time, you will find that you are not only stronger, but also more at peace. You will have developed a deep sense of inner strength that can carry you through any challenge life presents. Ultimately, the more you face discomfort without fear, the more you will realize that fear itself is not the enemy. Fear is simply an emotional signal, a signal that something new is on the horizon. The more you face it, the more it loses its power over you. You begin to see it for what it truly is, a natural part of growth, a sign that you are pushing beyond your limits and evolving into the person you are meant to be. The more you embrace discomfort, the more you embrace life itself, with all its uncertainties, challenges, and opportunities for growth. As you face discomfort without fear, you will find that you are not only building emotional strength, but also learning to trust yourself. You will trust your ability to handle whatever comes your way, knowing that you are capable of facing it head-on. This self-trust is the foundation of emotional resilience. And with this resilience, you can navigate life's challenges with confidence, knowing that you are stronger than you think and capable of far more than you ever imagined. Chapter 13. Expand your awareness by sitting quietly with your feelings. To truly expand your awareness, you must learn to sit quietly with your feelings. This practice can be one of the most transformative experiences you can undertake in your life, but it requires patience, discipline, and an openness to the discomfort that arises when we stop and truly experience ourselves. In a world full of constant noise, distractions, and demands, it's easy to overlook or suppress our feelings. We fill our time with external stimuli, whether it's social media, work, or relationships, to avoid sitting with the deeper, often more difficult emotions that live within us. But true awareness comes when we stop avoiding and instead sit quietly with our emotions, allowing them to surface without judgment or resistance. Emotions are not inherently good or bad. They simply are. They are energy, vibrations in the body that communicate something important about our inner world. However, in our modern world, many of us have been conditioned to suppress our emotions. We have learned that expressing emotion might be a sign of weakness, that vulnerability could expose us to harm. As a result, we often bury our feelings beneath layers of distraction, pretending they don't exist or pushing them aside in the hopes they'll go away. But they don't. They remain, sometimes buried so deep that they influence our actions in ways we can't fully understand. To expand your awareness, you need to create space to sit quietly and allow yourself to feel whatever is present. This isn't about forcing emotions to surface or trying to analyze them immediately. It's about sitting with what is, without judgment, without the need to change anything. It's about letting yourself feel without trying to fix, explain, or resist. The key to this practice is acceptance, accepting whatever feelings arise without trying to control or deny them. This practice opens the door to deep self-awareness. When you sit quietly with your feelings, you are taking the first step toward understanding your emotional landscape. Often we're unaware of how certain feelings, resentment, fear, grief, anxiety, are affecting us because we've been too busy to notice. These emotions have been running in the background, like software on a computer, affecting our actions, thoughts, and decisions. By sitting quietly, we allow ourselves to witness these feelings and understand their source. Maybe the fear you feel is rooted in a past experience of failure, or the sadness is connected to a loss you haven't fully processed. Only by bringing awareness to these feelings can we begin to heal and move forward. In the quiet, without the distractions of external input, we can begin to separate ourselves from our feelings. The goal isn't to identify with our emotions, but to recognize them as separate from who we are. For instance, you might feel anger, but you are not anger. You may experience sadness, but you are not sadness. When we identify with our emotions, we allow them to define us. Sitting quietly with your feelings helps you create that separation, enabling you to observe your emotions without becoming overwhelmed by them. This is an essential step toward expanding your awareness, understanding that your emotions are temporary and do not have to control your actions. This practice can also deepen your empathy, both for yourself and for others. When you take the time to sit with your emotions, you develop a deeper understanding of what it means to be human. You begin to appreciate the complexity of your feelings, and this understanding extends to others. As you become more aware of your own emotional world, you can more fully appreciate the emotional experiences of others. This opens the door to compassion and connection, as you begin to see that we are all navigating our own internal landscapes, often in silence and with great difficulty. Awareness, however, isn't just about understanding emotions, it's about recognizing the patterns and stories we tell ourselves. Often the feelings that arise are not just random, they are connected to the narratives we've built around our lives. These stories influence how we perceive the world and ourselves. For example, if you have been telling yourself for years that you are not good enough, feelings of inadequacy may continuously arise, even when there is no immediate reason for them. When you sit quietly and become aware of these feelings, you start to recognize the stories you've been telling yourself. You can then choose to rewrite those narratives, allowing yourself to let go of the limiting beliefs that no longer serve you. Sitting quietly with your feelings is also a powerful practice for mindfulness. Mindfulness teaches us to be present in the moment, fully engaged with whatever we are doing without distraction. By sitting quietly with your feelings, you practice this mindfulness by bringing your full attention to the present moment, focusing on your inner state. This is where true awareness lives, right here, in the present, free from past regrets and future anxieties. When you sit quietly, you create a space where you are fully present with yourself, allowing all of your emotions, thoughts, and sensations to unfold in real time. This presence is the foundation of emotional awareness. There will be times when the feelings that arise are difficult to sit with. You may encounter pain, grief, anger, or confusion. These feelings can feel overwhelming, and the instinct may be to avoid them. However, it's crucial to remember that discomfort is part of the process. It's in facing these feelings without trying to escape them that we gain the most insight. The more you practice sitting with difficult emotions, the more you begin to understand them, and the less power they have over you. You start to realize that emotions are just passing moments, and you do not need to act on them immediately. This builds resilience and emotional maturity, as you learn to ride the waves of emotion rather than be swept away by them. As you expand your awareness by sitting quietly with your feelings, you may also notice patterns in your behavior. Perhaps you tend to react defensively when someone criticizes you, or maybe you avoid conflict at all costs. By being still and aware, you can identify the triggers for these reactions and begin to shift your responses. This is the power of awareness. It allows you to become the observer of your own life, noticing your tendencies without being controlled by them. You can then choose to act with intention rather than out of habit or impulse. Ultimately, the goal of sitting quietly with your feelings is to develop a deeper understanding of yourself. It's about learning to be present with your emotions, accepting them as they are, and creating space to respond with clarity and intention. This practice builds emotional intelligence, allowing you to navigate the complexities of life with greater ease and authenticity. It allows you to become more in tune with your true self, free from the noise and distractions of the outside world. The more you practice, the more you expand your awareness, opening up new levels of insight, understanding, and connection. When you sit quietly with your feelings, you are giving yourself the gift of self-awareness. You are acknowledging your inner world and allowing it to be seen, heard, and felt. This practice is the first step toward deep personal growth and transformation. It requires courage, patience, and compassion, but it is also one of the most powerful tools you can use to live a life of true awareness and authenticity. Through this practice, you begin to realize that your emotions do not define you, but are simply a part of your human experience. And in this realization, you find freedom to feel, to grow, and to become the person you are meant to be. Chapter 14. Choose new beliefs. By focusing on what empowers you to transform your life, you must begin by transforming your beliefs. What you believe shapes every aspect of your experience, guiding your decisions, your relationships, your responses to challenges, and your sense of self-worth. So much of what you experience in life is not dictated by the circumstances themselves, but by the beliefs you hold about those circumstances. The way you perceive the world, interpret events, and react to people is all influenced by the lens of your beliefs. If you want to change your life, you have to choose to believe in what empowers you. By consciously selecting beliefs that uplift, motivate, and empower you, you can radically shift the trajectory of your life. Many of us live with deeply ingrained beliefs that may have been formed in childhood or reinforced over time by societal norms or past experiences. Some of these beliefs serve us well, others limit us. These limiting beliefs can be as subtle as thinking, "I'm not good enough," or "I'm not deserving of success." These beliefs often go unnoticed because they have become a part of who we think we are. They shape our actions, even when we don't consciously acknowledge them. However, if we want to step into our full potential, we need to become aware of these beliefs and challenge them. Changing your beliefs starts with awareness. It begins by recognizing the beliefs you currently hold, particularly the ones that no longer serve you. You may find that you have beliefs that are rooted in fear, insecurity, or doubt. Perhaps you believe that success is reserved for others, or that it's too late for you to change your circumstances. Maybe you've internalized the idea that failure is something to be ashamed of, rather than a necessary part of growth. These beliefs may not even be fully conscious, but they influence everything you do, from the actions you take to the opportunities you're willing to pursue. The next step is to examine these beliefs with a critical eye. Are they based on truth, or are they simply stories you've been telling yourself? Most of the time, our limiting beliefs are based on assumptions or past experiences that are no longer relevant to our present reality. Just because something was true in the past doesn't mean it's true now. You have the power to change the story you tell yourself about who you are and what you're capable of. It's time to choose a new narrative, one that empowers you to take action, grow, and achieve what you once thought was impossible. Once you become aware of your limiting beliefs, you can replace them with beliefs that align with your true potential. The process of choosing new beliefs requires conscious effort. You have to intentionally choose to believe in your strengths, in your ability to learn and grow, and in your capacity to overcome obstacles. You must affirm to yourself that you are worthy of success, happiness, and fulfillment. This might feel uncomfortable at first, especially if you've spent years believing the opposite, but the more you affirm these new beliefs, the more they will become ingrained in your consciousness. To help reinforce these new beliefs, it's crucial to focus on what empowers you. Empowering beliefs are those that propel you forward, that encourage you to take risks and challenge yourself. These beliefs remind you that setbacks are part of the journey, not signs of failure. They remind you that your worth is not defined by external validation or achievements, but by your intrinsic value as a person. When you focus on empowering beliefs, you shift your mindset from one of scarcity and limitation to one of abundance and possibility. A key element in choosing new beliefs is aligning them with your goals and aspirations. If you have a vision for your life, your beliefs should support that vision. For example, if you want to build a successful business, you need to believe that you are capable of success in business. If you want to improve your health, you need to believe that you have the power to make lasting changes in your lifestyle. Every goal requires a belief in your own ability to achieve it. Without that belief, you'll never take the necessary steps to make it happen. As you begin to focus on empowering beliefs, you may also need to let go of old beliefs that no longer serve you. This may mean releasing the belief that you have to be perfect in everything you do, or that you must avoid failure at all costs. These beliefs can hold you back from taking action and from growing in the ways that you need to. They may cause you to procrastinate or to shy away from opportunities that could lead to great personal growth. Instead of striving for perfection, focus on progress. Embrace the idea that failure is not something to fear, but an essential part of the learning process. Every mistake is a lesson, and every setback is an opportunity to come back stronger. It's also essential to surround yourself with people who support and believe in your new empowering beliefs. The people you spend time with can have a profound impact on your mindset and beliefs. If you are constantly around individuals who hold limiting beliefs, it can be difficult to cultivate empowering ones for yourself. Seek out people who encourage you, who challenge you to be better, and who share your vision for the future. Their energy will help reinforce your own empowering beliefs and motivate you to keep moving forward, even when faced with challenges. Another way to strengthen your empowering beliefs is through daily affirmations. Positive affirmations are powerful tools for reprogramming your mind and reinforcing your beliefs. By repeating empowering statements every day, you gradually shift your mindset to one of possibility and confidence. For instance, you might repeat to yourself, "I am capable of achieving my goals," or "I trust in my ability to create the life I desire." These affirmations work by reinforcing your new beliefs at a subconscious level, making them a natural part of your thought process over time. Visualization is another powerful tool for choosing new beliefs. When you visualize yourself succeeding, achieving your goals and living the life you desire, you are conditioning your mind to believe that these outcomes are possible. Visualization allows you to vividly imagine yourself in the future, acting in alignment with your empowering beliefs. The more you visualize these scenarios, the more real they will become in your mind, and the more motivated you will be to take action toward making them a reality. Choosing new beliefs is not a one-time task, it's an ongoing process. As you continue to grow, you'll encounter new challenges and obstacles that may trigger old limiting beliefs. The key is to remain vigilant and conscious of your thoughts. Whenever you catch yourself falling into negative thinking or doubting your abilities, take a moment to refocus. Remind yourself of the empowering beliefs you've chosen and affirm them to yourself. With practice, you'll find that these beliefs become more ingrained, and you'll start to see changes in your actions, your mindset, and your results. Ultimately, the beliefs you choose will determine the life you live. If you want to break free from old patterns and step into a new version of yourself, it starts with changing the way you think. You are not bound by your past, your mistakes, or your limitations. You have the power to choose new beliefs, beliefs that empower you, that inspire you, and that support your growth. By focusing on what empowers you, you create a mindset that is aligned with your highest potential, and from that place, anything is possible. Chapter 15. Direct your focus by feeling already whole and healed. When it comes to achieving your highest potential, one of the most powerful shifts you can make is learning to feel already whole and healed, regardless of your current circumstances. Often people believe they must first achieve something in the outside world, whether it's a goal, a success, or a certain status, before they can feel good about themselves or feel complete. However, the truth is that you don't need to wait for anything external to change in order to feel whole. You have the ability to tap into that sense of wholeness and healing right now. This is where true power lies. The way you direct your focus determines your experience. When you focus on what you perceive as lacking in your life, you attract more of that energy. If you constantly think about what's wrong, what's missing, or what you haven't accomplished yet, your life will reflect that focus. Conversely, if you direct your focus to the present moment and choose to feel whole and healed, you begin to operate from a place of abundance. You stop waiting for something to change outside of you, and you recognize that the healing and wholeness you seek are already available to you, right here, right now. When you begin to feel whole in the present moment, you break free from the trap of thinking that healing is a destination. Healing doesn't happen one day when everything is perfect or when you have it all figured out. Healing is a process, yes, but it is also a state of mind, a choice you make in the present moment to believe that you are enough as you are, regardless of past wounds or present challenges. The most powerful thing you can do is to feel healed now, to act as if you already possess all that you need within you. In practice, this means shifting your focus away from the idea of lacking anything. Most people spend their lives chasing after something they think they need to be whole, whether it's love, success, recognition, money, or approval. However, this endless pursuit keeps them focused on what they don't have, which only reinforces the sense of incompleteness. The truth is, you don't need anything outside of yourself to feel whole. All of the love, power, peace, and wisdom you seek already reside within you. By acknowledging this, you begin to experience a profound shift in how you approach life. To start, take a moment each day to center yourself and reflect on all that you already are. Close your eyes, take a deep breath, and tune into your body. Notice the rhythm of your breath, the sensations in your body, and the thoughts that are running through your mind. Rather than focusing on what you haven't yet done or where you believe you fall short, bring your attention to the present moment and allow yourself to feel complete as you are. Remind yourself that you are already whole, nothing is missing. This practice of feeling complete and healed in the present moment creates a powerful foundation for growth, healing, and manifestation. It's also important to recognize that healing is not a linear journey. There is no finish line to cross before you are allowed to feel whole. Many people wait for the day when they will finally be healed, when the pain of the past is gone, when the mistakes of the past are forgiven, when their bodies are in perfect health, or when they have achieved all their goals. But the truth is that healing is about accepting and embracing the present moment, no matter what it holds. It's about realizing that you are worthy of feeling whole, loved, and healed right now, regardless of your circumstances. This mindset shift also frees you from the pressure of needing things to be perfect before you can feel good about yourself. Instead of chasing after an idealized version of yourself or a future version of yourself that has everything figured out, you can feel at peace with where you are today. You can choose to direct your focus to your own intrinsic value and to the wisdom that resides within you. This not only allows you to heal, but also allows you to grow and evolve with grace and ease, free from the pressure of fixing yourself. When you feel whole and healed in the present moment, your energy shifts. You stop attracting negativity, scarcity, and fear, and instead, you begin to draw in opportunities, people, and experiences that align with your sense of wholeness. This is because your focus determines your vibration. When you choose to feel healed and whole, you emit that energy into the world, and others will respond to it. You'll find that the people around you begin to reflect back the same healing energy, and opportunities begin to unfold with ease. Another key aspect of feeling whole and healed is the importance of self-compassion. Often we are our own harshest critics, constantly pushing ourselves to be better, do more, and achieve greater results. While ambition is important, it's equally important to show yourself kindness and patience. Instead of focusing on what you think you should be doing, take a moment to acknowledge the progress you've already made. Recognize the strength and resilience you've shown in navigating challenges. The fact that you're still here, still striving, still growing, speaks to your inner strength. When you can embrace yourself with compassion, you begin to feel whole and healed in a way that is not dependent on external circumstances. At the heart of this practice is the idea of trust. You must trust that everything you need is already within you, even if you don't always see it clearly. Trust that your healing is unfolding in its own perfect timing. You don't have to force it or rush it. Healing is not something that needs to be controlled, it simply needs to be allowed. Trust that by feeling whole now, you are aligning yourself with the energy that will bring the healing and transformation you desire. When you trust in your ability to heal, you are better able to let go of the need for control and allow life to unfold naturally. The most profound transformation happens when you stop resisting where you are and start accepting it. Embrace every part of yourself, the parts that feel broken, the parts that feel strong, the parts that are healing, and the parts that are already whole. When you learn to feel complete, no matter where you are on your journey, you begin to operate from a place of power. You stop looking to external circumstances to validate your worth, and instead, you learn to validate yourself. In the end, you are the one who determines how whole you feel. Your ability to feel whole and healed is not dependent on anything outside of you. It is a choice you make in every moment. When you decide to focus on the present, when you choose to feel complete right now, you empower yourself to live from a place of abundance, peace, and strength. This is how you begin to create the life you desire, not by waiting for some future event to make you feel whole, but by recognizing that you are already whole, and you always have been. Chapter 16. Shift your reality by acting as your future self. Your future self holds a version of you that is already living the life you desire. This version of you is not just a distant possibility, but a tangible reality waiting to unfold. The key to shifting your current reality into alignment with your desired future is to begin acting as though you are already that person, the person who has achieved their goals, who walks with confidence, who embodies success, and who moves through life with ease and purpose. The truth is, the future self you aspire to become is already within you. All you need to do is tap into that version of yourself and start living as if you've already arrived. When you begin to act as your future self, you are stepping into your highest potential. You are no longer waiting for external circumstances to change before you take action. You understand that your reality is shaped by the choices you make today, and those choices are rooted in the beliefs, thoughts, and actions of your future self. This shift in perspective has the power to change everything. It frees you from the feeling of being stuck in your current situation and allows you to move forward with intention and confidence. The process of acting as your future self starts with envisioning who that person is. Take time to reflect on what your ideal life looks like. How does your future self think, feel, and behave? What does their daily routine look like? How do they approach challenges? The clearer you are about this version of yourself, the easier it will be to step into that reality. But it's not just about visualizing the end result. It's about embodying the essence of your future self in the present moment. One of the most powerful ways to do this is through your mindset. Begin to think like your future self. Ask yourself, what would my future self do in this situation? Would they hesitate, or would they take bold, confident action? Would they dwell on fear or uncertainty, or would they trust that everything is unfolding perfectly? When you start asking these questions, you will begin to align your thoughts with the person you are becoming. Your mindset becomes a powerful tool that directs the course of your life. Another key aspect of acting as your future self is making decisions from a place of confidence and clarity. Your future self is not afraid to make decisions because they trust in their ability to navigate any situation. They are not worried about making the wrong choice because they understand that every decision is an opportunity for growth. When you begin to act with the same confidence, you will find that doors begin to open for you. Opportunities that once seemed out of reach will become accessible because you are no longer holding yourself back. You are stepping into your power and making choices that align with the person you are destined to become. It's also important to recognize that acting as your future self is not about pretending to be someone you're not. It's about tapping into the version of yourself that already exists within you. It's about shedding the limiting beliefs and fears that have held you back and embracing the truth of who you are and what you are capable of. Your future self is not some distant, unattainable version of you. They are already within you, waiting for you to step into the life you've always dreamed of. To further align with your future self, take practical steps each day that reflect the person you are becoming. If your future self is a confident and successful entrepreneur, start taking steps toward building your business today. If your future self is fit and healthy, begin incorporating healthier habits into your routine now. Every action you take, no matter how small, sends a powerful message to the universe that you are serious about your transformation. The more consistently you take action as your future self, the faster your reality will shift to match your vision. One of the most transformative aspects of this process is learning to trust the journey. It's easy to get caught up in the idea that you need to have everything figured out immediately, but the truth is that growth takes time. Acting as your future self requires patience and faith in the process. Trust that each step you take brings you closer to your desired reality. Trust that the universe is supporting you and that everything is unfolding in perfect timing. When you trust the process, you remove resistance and allow the flow of abundance to come to you effortlessly. In addition to your actions, your emotions play a significant role in shaping your reality. Your future self feels confident, calm, and centered, no matter what challenges they face. They are not overwhelmed by fear or doubt because they understand that everything is temporary and that they have the strength to overcome any obstacle. To align with your future self, begin to embody those same emotions. Practice feeling calm, confident, and empowered, even in situations that would typically trigger anxiety or fear. By doing so, you are training your body and mind to respond like your future self, which in turn shifts your reality. Another powerful way to act as your future self is to surround yourself with people who align with the person you are becoming. The people you spend time with have a profound influence on your energy and mindset. If your future self is surrounded by successful, driven, and supportive individuals, start seeking out those kinds of people. Their energy will inspire and motivate you to continue on your path. By aligning with the right people, you are reinforcing your own belief in your ability to achieve your goals and live your best life. Lastly, remember that every moment is an opportunity to step into your future self. You don't have to wait for a specific event or milestone to start living as the person you want to become. The more you practice acting as your future self, the more you will notice small shifts in your reality. You will start to see that your thoughts, beliefs, and actions are aligning with the person you are becoming, and as a result, your life will begin to transform in ways you never thought possible. It's important to recognize that shifting your reality by acting as your future self is not about perfection. You don't have to have everything figured out or do everything perfectly. What matters is that you are consistently taking steps toward the person you want to become. Each small action, each shift in your mindset, brings you one step closer to the life you desire. By focusing on the person you want to be and acting from that place, you will start to see your reality change in profound ways. The future self you envision is not a distant dream, it is a version of you that already exists, waiting to be fully realized. By acting as if you are already that person, you align yourself with the energy of your desired reality. With each thought, belief, and action that reflects your future self, you shift your reality and bring your dreams to life. Your future is not something that happens to you, it is something you create. And the more you step into that creation, the more powerful your transformation will be. Chapter 17. Calm your mind by slowing down your mental activity. In a world filled with constant noise and distraction, the ability to calm your mind by slowing down mental activity is a powerful skill. It is not merely about finding peace or stillness, but about reclaiming control over the overwhelming thoughts that can cloud your judgment, drain your energy, and disrupt your focus. In this chaotic environment, it's easy to get swept up in the flow of daily life, where your mind is constantly racing, planning, worrying, and reacting. But the truth is, you don't have to live like this. The power to slow down your mind and find clarity lies within you. It's not about escaping the world, but rather about learning how to center yourself amid the noise. To begin this process, you must first recognize that slowing down your mental activity requires intentional effort. It's not something that will happen automatically, but rather something you must actively cultivate. Most people live in a state of perpetual mental busyness, hopping from one thought to the next, without ever taking a moment to pause and breathe. In order to truly calm your mind, you need to create space between those thoughts, allowing your mind to rest and regain its natural clarity. The first step in slowing down your mental activity is to become aware of the incessant chatter in your head. This awareness is key because it allows you to notice when your mind is speeding up, when you're caught in a loop of overthinking, or when your thoughts are taking you down a path of anxiety or stress. Many people go through life without ever truly tuning into their mental state, But once you become aware of how quickly your thoughts can spiral, you can begin to intervene and redirect your attention. One powerful method to calm your mind is through conscious breathing. By focusing on your breath and slowing down its pace, you automatically send a signal to your brain that it's time to relax. Breathwork is a direct link to your body's parasympathetic nervous system, which is responsible for calming your mind and promoting a sense of relaxation. When you breathe deeply and slowly, you interrupt the cycle of rapid thoughts, bringing your attention back to the present moment. This practice allows your mind to pause, even if only for a few moments, and that pause is enough to create the space needed to regain control. Another important aspect of slowing down mental activity is learning to let go of unnecessary mental clutter. Many of us carry around a mental load that we don't even realize is weighing us down. We replay past events, worry about future possibilities, and constantly plan for what's next. These thoughts, while often coming from a place of intention or concern, can leave us feeling overwhelmed and mentally fatigued. To slow down, you must practice releasing thoughts that no longer serve you. This doesn't mean ignoring responsibilities or avoiding challenges, but rather allowing yourself to focus only on what truly matters in the present moment. A simple but effective technique to accomplish this is the practice of mindfulness. Mindfulness is the act of being fully present in whatever you're doing, without judgment or distraction. It's about engaging with your experience in a deep and intentional way, allowing yourself to tune out the constant chatter of your mind. When you focus on the sensations of the moment, whether it's the feel of your breath, the sounds around you, or the texture of an object in your hand, you bring your attention away from the endless flow of thoughts. By practicing mindfulness regularly, you train your mind to become more accustomed to slowing down and focusing on what's in front of you. Another powerful technique for calming the mind is to prioritize rest and relaxation. We often think that productivity and achievement require constant mental activity, but in reality, mental rest is just as important, if not more so. Giving your mind time to relax and recharge allows it to function more efficiently when you do need to focus. This might look like taking breaks throughout the day to simply sit in silence, engage in light stretching, or even meditate. It's not about avoiding work or responsibilities, but about recognizing the importance of giving your mind the space it needs to operate at its best. When it comes to slowing down your mental activity, it's important to acknowledge that not all thoughts are created equal. Some thoughts are urgent, requiring your attention and action, while others are simply distractions, pulling your focus away from what matters. One technique for managing your mental activity is to categorize your thoughts. Ask yourself, is this thought something I need to act on right now, or is it a distraction? If it's a distraction, gently let it go without judgment. If it's something that requires action, acknowledge it and set aside a time later to address it. Another strategy to calm your mind is to create mental boundaries. We live in a world where we are constantly being bombarded with information, whether through our devices, conversations, or media. This influx of stimuli can overstimulate your brain and prevent it from slowing down. To counter this, it's essential to set boundaries around your mental energy. For example, you might choose to limit your exposure to social media, avoid checking emails first thing in the morning, or establish periods of time where you are off limits to distractions. By setting boundaries, you are protecting your mental space and allowing your mind to focus on what truly matters. Additionally, slowing down your mental activity requires a commitment to living in the present moment. So often, our minds are either dwelling on the past or worrying about the future, and this constant mental time travel can prevent us from fully experiencing the now. The more you practice being present, the more you will find that your thoughts naturally begin to slow down. Instead of racing ahead to the next task or getting lost in past regrets, you can begin to truly appreciate the beauty of the present moment, which is where peace and stillness reside. Another helpful tool for calming your mind is visualization. This technique involves using your imagination to create a mental image of peace and relaxation. For instance, you might visualize yourself in a serene natural setting, such as a beach or a forest. As you focus on this mental image, you allow yourself to feel the calmness of the environment. By immersing yourself in these positive, peaceful images, you shift your mind away from the chaos and bring your focus back to a place of tranquility. Finally, it's important to approach the process of calming your mind with patience. It's easy to expect immediate results, especially in a world that values speed and efficiency. However, slowing down your mental activity is a skill that takes time to develop. Like any other practice, it requires consistency and dedication. Be gentle with yourself as you work to quiet the noise in your mind. Over time, you will find that your mind becomes more naturally calm, and you will be able to navigate life's challenges with greater ease and clarity. By slowing down your mental activity, you reclaim the power to focus, create, and live in the present moment. It is a transformative practice that not only enhances your mental well-being, but also allows you to engage with life in a deeper, more meaningful way. Through awareness, mindfulness, conscious breathing, and mental boundaries, you can begin to cultivate a calm mind that supports your goals, nourishes your spirit, and enables you to live fully. Chapter 18. Reset your nervous system by staying in heart coherence. In the rush of life, it's easy to forget the profound connection between our bodies and our emotional states. The way we breathe, the rhythm of our heart, and the state of our nervous system are all intricately linked. In times of stress, anxiety, or emotional overwhelm, the body reacts in a way that reflects those internal states, often causing a cascade of physical and emotional tension. One of the most powerful tools for resetting our nervous system is to remain in a state of heart coherence. A concept that is not just about emotional calm, but about restoring balance and alignment between the mind and the body. Heart coherence refers to a state in which your heart rhythms, thoughts, emotions, and body are synchronized, creating a sense of harmony. When your heart is in coherence, your body operates in a state of ease, your mind is more focused, and your emotions are in balance. This state is scientifically measurable, and it has been shown that heart coherence can have profound effects on your mental clarity, emotional stability, and overall health. Learning how to reset your nervous system through heart coherence is an invaluable skill that can be developed with awareness, practice, and intentional effort. The first step in achieving heart coherence is understanding that your heart is more than just a physical organ. The heart has its own neural network, sometimes called the heart-brain, and it communicates with the brain in ways that influence how we think, feel, and act. When your heart is in a coherent state, the rhythm of your heartbeats becomes smooth and regular, which sends signals to the brain to calm the nervous system. This, in turn, helps to regulate your emotional responses and encourages a state of well-being. Essentially, heart coherence is about creating a deep sense of alignment within yourself, allowing you to respond to life from a place of calmness and clarity. Achieving heart coherence begins with awareness. Most people go through life without ever noticing the patterns of their breath or the rhythms of their heart. In times of stress, the breath becomes shallow and the heart rate becomes erratic, both of which send signals to the body that you are in danger. This triggers the fight or flight response, activating the sympathetic nervous system and flooding the body with stress hormones. However, when you intentionally shift your focus to the heart and regulate your breath, you can activate the parasympathetic nervous system, the body's natural relaxation response. This shift allows you to move from a state of stress to one of calm, even in the face of challenges. One of the most effective ways to enter into heart coherence is through a technique known as heart-focused breathing. This involves focusing your attention on your heart area while breathing slowly and deeply. By doing this, you create a connection between your breath and the heart, which helps to regulate the nervous system. To practice heart-focused breathing, find a quiet space and sit comfortably. Place your hand gently over your heart and take a deep breath, imagining that you are breathing in and out through your heart. As you inhale, feel your chest expand, and as you exhale, feel the tension release from your body. Continue this practice for a few minutes, allowing yourself to become fully present in the experience. The key to heart coherence is not just the physical act of deep breathing, but the emotional state you cultivate while doing it. As you focus on your breath, think of something that makes you feel calm, joyful, or grateful. It might be a memory, a person you love, or a peaceful scene from nature. By bringing this positive emotion into your heart-centered breathing, you are creating a powerful synergy between your physical state and your emotional state. This combination helps to create a deep sense of relaxation and well-being that resets the nervous system. Another crucial element of staying in heart coherence is learning to detach from stresses and negative emotions. In our fast-paced world, it's easy to get caught up in worry, fear, and frustration, all of which pull us out of coherence and into a state of imbalance. The more we give energy to negative emotions, the more we reinforce the activation of the stress response. However, by practicing emotional awareness and learning how to shift our focus, we can stop the cycle of negative emotional charge before it takes hold. This doesn't mean ignoring difficult feelings, but rather acknowledging them without becoming overwhelmed by them. In heart coherence, you acknowledge what you feel without letting it define you. One of the most powerful aspects of heart coherence is its ability to influence our relationships. When we are in a state of heart coherence, we naturally emit positive energy that affects those around us. Our interactions become more grounded, compassionate, and empathetic. This is because the heart sends out electromagnetic signals that can influence the people near us. This effect is known as the heart's electromagnetic field, and it has been shown that when we are in coherence, we can positively impact others by simply being in their presence. When you reset your nervous system by staying in heart coherence, you not only improve your own well-being, but also enhance the emotional and energetic dynamics in your relationships. In addition to heart-focused breathing and emotional awareness, mindfulness practices can also support your journey into heart coherence. Mindfulness involves staying present in the moment without judgment. It allows you to detach from the mental clutter and noise that often distracts you from the peace that lies within. When you practice mindfulness alongside heart coherence techniques, you create a powerful state of inner peace that permeates all aspects of your life. Whether you're working, interacting with others, or simply relaxing, mindfulness helps you stay grounded in the present moment, making it easier to remain in heart coherence. As you continue to practice heart coherence, you may notice a profound shift in your ability to handle stress. Life will continue to present challenges, but you will become more adept at responding with calm and clarity. Instead of reacting impulsively or emotionally to external events, you will respond from a place of inner balance and wisdom. This shift in perspective is not just about feeling better in the moment. It is about cultivating a deeper sense of resilience, emotional intelligence and well-being that allows you to navigate life's ups and downs with grace. It's also important to understand that heart coherence is not a one-time fix, but rather a practice that requires consistency and patience. The more you practice, the easier it becomes to enter into heart coherence and stay there, even in stressful situations. Just like any other skill, it takes time to develop, but the rewards are well worth the effort. As you reset your nervous system and cultivate heart coherence, you'll notice that your overall health improves, your relationships become more harmonious, and your ability to stay calm under pressure becomes second nature. In the long run, staying in heart coherence is a life-changing practice. It empowers you to live from a place of balance, peace, and emotional resilience. It allows you to break free from the constant grip of stress and anxiety and cultivate a deeper connection with yourself and others. Most importantly, it enables you to live with intention and purpose, fully grounded in the present moment. In a world that is constantly pulling us in different directions, heart coherence offers a refuge, a place of stillness and clarity where we can reset, recharge, and respond to life's challenges with a calm and open heart. Chapter 19. Empower your being by repeating "I am" with intention. The words we speak have incredible power. This is something that people often overlook, especially when it comes to the words we say to ourselves. It's easy to become absorbed in the negative self-talk that surrounds us, whether it's our own inner critic or the external pressures that influence our mindset. Yet, one of the simplest but most profound practices you can adopt to change your life is the intentional use of the phrase "I am." When said with purpose, "I am" has the potential to unlock your inner power, shape your reality, and empower your being in ways that go beyond mere affirmation. When you say "I am," you are not just using words. What you are doing is connecting deeply with the essence of who you are, reinforcing the idea that you are not limited by your circumstances or doubts. You are affirming that you are whole, complete, and capable of becoming whatever you decide to be. The energy you create when you repeat "I am" with intention is far more than a mental exercise. It is a declaration of your personal sovereignty, a way to claim ownership over your thoughts, emotions, and ultimately your life. The phrase "I am" is a direct statement of existence. It's a declaration that you exist, and that you are aware of your existence. It's a recognition of the present moment, and in that moment you are acknowledging that you are here and you are enough. But the power of "I am" doesn't end there. Every time you say it, you are engaging in the act of creation. You are creating your identity, your thoughts, and the world you experience. In essence, when you say "I am," you are speaking into existence the version of yourself you want to become. The idea of "I am" being a tool for transformation is rooted in both ancient wisdom and modern science. Spiritual traditions across the world recognize the profound power of words, and "I am" is often used as a meditative practice to align oneself with higher consciousness or universal truth. The reason why it holds such power is that it reflects a deep connection to our sense of self. When you identify with the words you speak, whether you say "I am strong," "I am worthy," or "I am capable," you are aligning your thoughts and energy with those qualities. Over time, this creates a new belief system, one that empowers you rather than limits you. One of the most significant ways that the repetition of I am with intention can impact your life is by changing your internal dialogue. Negative self-talk often stems from deeply ingrained beliefs about who we think we are or what we think we're capable of. These beliefs often go unnoticed, but they shape our reality in subtle ways. By intentionally shifting your language to statements like, I am confident, I am resilient, or I am limitless, you begin to reprogram the subconscious mind. You are telling your subconscious that you no longer accept the limiting beliefs that have held you back in the past. Instead, you are asserting that you are worthy of success, joy, and fulfillment. This practice of I am is not about pretending to be something you're not. It's about connecting with the truth of who you are beneath the surface, the part of you that is always whole, always capable, and always ready to grow. Even if you don't feel confident or strong in a given moment, by repeating I am with intention, you are reminding yourself of the truth that exists beyond your temporary feelings. You are not bound by the limitations of your present circumstances. You are connected to a greater potential, one that you can tap into through the power of your words and intentions. Another powerful aspect of using I am with intention is that it creates a sense of ownership over your life. Many people spend years allowing external factors, society's expectations, past experiences, or even the opinions of others, to shape their identity. But when you embrace the I am practice, you are stepping into your personal power. You are asserting control over your thoughts and your actions. Rather than reacting to life, you are taking proactive steps to shape it in alignment with your desires. By saying I am and coupling it with a positive, empowering statement, you are setting an intention for your day, your goals, and your future. The energy behind your words plays a critical role in how effective the I am practice is. It's not enough to simply repeat these words mechanically. They must be spoken with conviction and belief. When you speak with intention, your words reverberate through your being. They shift your energy, and your energy then shifts the environment around you. In this way, I am becomes more than just a mantra. It becomes a tool for creating the life you want to live. Whether you're facing a challenging situation, going after a goal, or simply trying to cultivate more peace in your life, repeating I am with intention will help guide your thoughts and energy toward the outcome you desire. In addition to being a tool for personal empowerment, the practice of repeating I am also fosters a deeper connection to your higher self. Your higher self is the version of you that exists beyond your fears, doubts, and limitations. It is the part of you that knows your true potential and purpose. When you affirm I am, you align yourself with the energy of this higher self, allowing it to guide and support you. You are essentially inviting the wisdom, strength, and clarity of your higher self into your life, helping you make decisions that are in alignment with your true desires and purpose. It's important to note that the power of I am is not just limited to personal attributes or achievements. It can also be used to align yourself with your vision for the future. When you say I am successful, I am abundant, or I am fulfilled, you are not only affirming your current state, but also envisioning the reality you wish to create. The more consistently you speak these words with intention, the more you begin to attract the circumstances, opportunities, and people that align with those affirmations. By claiming the future you desire in the present moment, you begin to shape your reality in real time. As you continue the practice of repeating I am with intention, you may begin to notice subtle shifts in your mindset. You might feel more confident, more focused, or more resilient in the face of challenges. The words you speak will start to carry more weight, and your actions will begin to reflect the beliefs you've cultivated through this practice. Over time, the repetition of I am becomes ingrained in your subconscious, and you will start to embody the qualities you've affirmed. It's not magic, it's a powerful process of self-transformation. In the end, I am is not just a tool for self-empowerment, it's a way of living with intention, purpose, and awareness. It's about claiming your truth, stepping into your power, and creating a life that aligns with your deepest desires. By repeating I am with intention, you are laying the foundation for a future that is shaped by your inner strength and clarity. And as you continue to use this practice, you will find that you are not only empowered, but that you are also the creator of the life you wish to live. Chapter 20. Change your frequency by living with inner purpose daily. Living with inner purpose is not just about setting goals and achieving them. It's about aligning your entire life with a deeper sense of meaning and intention. When you live with inner purpose, you begin to tap into a frequency that resonates with your true self. This is a frequency that transcends the noise of daily distractions, the opinions of others, and the pressures of the external world. It's a frequency that is deeply rooted in your values, your passions, and your desires for growth. By consciously choosing to live with this inner purpose every day, you elevate your energy and change your frequency in ways that propel you toward your highest potential. The frequency we emit is not just a metaphor, it's a real, tangible force. Every thought, every emotion, every action vibrates at a certain frequency, influencing our inner state and the world around us. When you live on a high frequency, you attract opportunities, people, and experiences that align with that energy. Your internal world reflects your external reality. When you choose to live with purpose, you start tuning into a frequency that elevates your life and enhances your ability to manifest the things you desire. It's a simple but powerful truth. By living with intention and purpose, you can shift your energy and open doors to new possibilities. Purpose is the force that drives us forward. It's the guiding light that illuminates the path ahead, even when obstacles arise. It gives meaning to our struggles, teaches us valuable lessons, and fuels our perseverance. Without purpose, life can feel aimless, as though we are wandering through a maze without direction. Purpose provides that direction. It serves as the anchor that holds us steady in the storm, and the force that propels us toward our goals. The key is to recognize that your purpose is not something you find, it's something you create. It's shaped by your values, your passions, and your vision for the future. By living with this inner purpose each day, you activate a frequency that resonates with your deepest desires, enabling you to move through life with clarity and confidence. To live with inner purpose, you must first define what that purpose is. This involves looking inward and reflecting on what truly matters to you. What do you stand for? What are your deepest values? What brings you joy and fulfillment? These are the questions that will help you uncover your inner purpose. It's not about what others expect from you or what society dictates is important. It's about discovering what makes you feel alive and what you're meant to contribute to the world. Your purpose is uniquely yours, and when you identify it, you begin to shift your frequency toward the life that is aligned with your true self. Once you've defined your inner purpose, the next step is to align your daily actions with that purpose. This is where many people struggle. They know what they want, but they don't take consistent action toward it. Living with purpose requires discipline and focus. It means making choices that reflect your values and your long-term vision, even when it's hard. It means prioritizing your growth, staying true to your goals, and making decisions that move you closer to the life you want to create. The more you align your actions with your purpose, the more your frequency rises. Your daily habits become the building blocks of your success, shaping the energy you project and the experiences you attract. The beauty of living with inner purpose is that it brings a sense of fulfillment and peace, regardless of external circumstances. When you know you're living in alignment with your purpose, challenges no longer feel like setbacks. Instead, they become opportunities for growth and learning. You begin to see obstacles as stepping stones rather than roadblocks. This shift in perspective is powerful because it allows you to maintain a positive, high-frequency energy even in difficult times. When your actions are driven by purpose, you remain grounded, focused, and motivated, no matter what life throws your way. Changing your frequency by living with inner purpose also requires that you let go of distractions that pull you away from your true path. It's easy to get caught up in the noise of everyday life, social media, the opinions of others, the pressure to succeed on someone else's terms. These distractions can dilute your energy and prevent you from staying true to your purpose. To shift your frequency, you must create space in your life for what matters most. This means setting boundaries, saying no to things that don't align with your purpose, and prioritizing your own growth and well-being. When you clear the clutter from your life and focus on what truly matters, you free up the energy to direct toward your purpose. Another important aspect of living with inner purpose is self-awareness. The more you understand yourself, your desires, and your motivations, the more effectively you can align your actions with your purpose. This requires ongoing introspection and reflection. Take time each day to check in with yourself. How do you feel? Are your actions aligned with your values? Are there areas where you're getting off track? By asking yourself these questions regularly, you stay connected to your purpose and adjust your course as needed. This practice helps you stay grounded and focused, even when life gets busy or chaotic. Living with purpose also involves embracing growth and transformation. As you change and evolve, so too will your purpose. What drives you at one stage in life may shift as you gain new experiences and insights. Embrace these changes and allow your purpose to evolve with you. This flexibility ensures that your purpose remains aligned with your current self, keeping your frequency in sync with who you are in the present moment. By staying open to growth and change, you continue to raise your energy and create space for new opportunities. The more you commit to living with inner purpose, the more you will notice the positive effects it has on your life. Your thoughts become clearer, your energy becomes more focused, and your actions become more intentional. Your frequency shifts toward a higher vibration, and as a result, you attract more of the things you desire. Opportunities flow more easily to you, relationships deepen, and your sense of fulfillment grows. This is the power of living with inner purpose. It not only changes your frequency, but it also transforms your reality. Ultimately, living with inner purpose is about living with intention, clarity, and alignment. It's about making choices that reflect your deepest values and staying true to the person you're meant to become. When you live with purpose, you tap into a higher frequency that elevates your entire being. It's a frequency that attracts abundance, growth, and fulfillment. So make the commitment today to live with purpose and watch how your life transforms as you align your actions, thoughts, and energy with your deepest desires.